Might be wrong.
It's yours, Shane?
Nah.
This is one of the best things I ever purchased. Y'all should get one.
What is it?
It's a motion
And it goes
detector.
around.
So if you're working at a
And you
or
move.
something,
It does.
and
Oh, that's
live, it'll
neat.
move
That's
with you, so that
dope.
way you ain't gotta do. Okay, hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Himbo.
Yeah. They're like Five Below
Okay.
for like $8.
Five Below be having them.
All right, y'all ready? Y'all like how? And then look, talk how you want to talk.
And well,
Okay.
I was gonna say that you ain't never stopped me before. But okay.
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? We appreciate y'all for joining in the G Spot podcast tonight. First and foremost, one thing that I be forgetting to do when I come on here is praise God from our blessings flow. Because I'm very blessed and sometimes we don't realize how blessed we are because we always focused on what we don't have instead of appreciating what we do have. So I thank God for that. Tonight, man, I got two queens in the building. Y'all been hitting me up since I posted that it was gonna be up in here. I got two very, very, very important figures in our community in the building right now. And
we are.
Yeah, and so my bad. That we was in motherfucking Taliban studio.
Okay.
But y'all though, we appreciate y'all for real. First of all, man, how was y'all week this week?
I made it. For real. No, it actually was it's starting to turn around. You know, This has been a weird summer just as far as energy.
Yeah.
I feel like we're catching up from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a time warp. So I feel the pressure coming up off of me a little bit more now, and I'm looking forward to the third and fourth quarter. So yeah. I'm peaceful.
Shay.
I'm thankful for the third and fourth quarter.
That's right.
You got another chance to get it right. Okay.
That's it.
Hey, and then too, while I'm asking about them, first of all, let me introduce these women. For some of y'all who might not have heard of them, because I know we got a few people who stay out of town. But first and foremost, we got Tuesday night up in the building. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all women have heard of Waste Me Not, because the girls love the beads. Yeah. The girls love the beads. If y'all need any of your bead needs, make sure y'all hit up Ia, the queen. She in the building. And if y'all can't find the information, make sure y'all hit me up and I'll definitely send it to you.
Listen, we'll be here all day.
We'll be here. We'll be here. And then we got Marni Woodson in the building, man. Listen.
You got my last name.
Yeah.
It took me a while to even find your last name. I thought your name was Marni.
Marni. Good job.
Yeah,
Good
appreciate
job.
that. Look, and I'm usually pretty terrible with names,
Mhm.
so I'm kind of proud of myself right now about that.
You did good.
But man, Marni, I'm gonna let them tell you what all that you do.
Yes. Start with her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a clinical herbalist. I like to consider myself a community herbalist. I'm a clinical herbalist, and an energy worker, like a healer. I enjoy that label as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I like my community, so I enjoy being active in the community.
Mm.
Yeah, spending my time volunteering the way I like to volunteer.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do a lot of stuff.
Man, that's so. And tell them what all you do. You do Waste Me Not, but that ain't what all you do. I know a lot of y'all been wondering about the classes. Y'all been asking about the classes that I go to on Wednesday nights, but this is the Ia that is over the classes that I go to on Wednesday nights. So I'll let her tell y'all what she do.
So greetings everybody. My name is Tuesday Night. I am an initiated priestess of Shango for the tradition of Yoruba Ifa. So I'm also an ELO for those of you who are familiar with our culture. In that, I'm like a mentee to Marni over here. So I'm understudy. I'm little dog to big dog. So I also play a little bit in herbs. I do some tinctures, potions, things like that. I have an online spiritual botanica. But I also have a waste meat company, which is Waste Me Not, and that allows me to deal with the divine feminine directly with our females, with our women in their wombs, And yeah, I'm a waist beat priestess. Like, to be honest with
Yeah.
you, like, boom, boom. So, in that, I mean,
That
I'm
was
calling-
beautiful. I like the way you said
Thank
that.
you.
Waist
Yeah,
beat
'cause-
priestess.
Yeah, that,
Thank you. Yeah. It's just you can't separate one without the other. And so either way, yeah, that's it. You know, I write, I teach. I'm a teacher. I teach home ec, culinary arts over in middle school at Workman.
that's it.
I'm a publicist. I'm a manager of an artist. Shout out to Mother Color. Yeah, I be doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, I live my life. I don't want to leave this realm with anything that God gave me that was a gift.
Right.
So I want to expend everything so that when I leave, I ain't gotta come back.
That's right. Hey, that's my saying all the time. Live within your destiny so you can live a long and healthy life.
Absolutely.
And also so you don't want to have to come back because it's shit a little ghetto down here. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, I love the fact of how humble y'all are. I love that. But sometimes y'all got to give yourself flowers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do some very, very important things. You know, I'll call you up in a minute. And you know, I'll come knock on your door in a minute.
I'm so grateful that you moved like right there. Like, you don't understand.
Look, she know.
Man on the corner.
Yeah, I come knock on the door in a minute. Hey, I need you to teach me how to do X, Y, Z. And the fact that you teach, and I don't have to feel uncomfortable with even coming to ask you to show me this. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that. And then even with, let me tell you something. My sister got a tea from you. I ain't gonna say which one because I don't know who all watching this. Just know she ended up getting a good job after that tea. Let me tell you, the tea did its work. You know what I'm saying? The tea did its work, and it's another representation of how divine feminine, like what we talking tonight. So I really felt like y'all were the perfect candidates for this show. When you talk about, a couple of y'all saw the show that we had when we talk about the divine masculine, and we had different views. We had the one time we had the Israelites.
Is that a thing?
Let's
Yeah, you know it is. Let me tell you.
It is. I was just being funny.
For me, yeah. Okay, so because this is actually a movement. Okay. That's where I got all of this from, right?
Like Black Men Don't Cheat.
Yeah. Look. I personally don't think black men cheat because then you got to get into the word of what's cheating.
Well, so I'm with you. We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna come on that.
Defining roles and defining new words and labels. That's important.
Yeah, that's the era we live in now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know for me, it's all about balance. Yeah. It's all about finding balance with your masculine side and then recognizing too, especially when you're with your woman or whatever, that you have to tap into that feminine side a little bit too to respect the feminine energy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it means to me. Now, of course, the brothers that we had on the show when we had it,
right? They don't know nothing about it.
I wasn't gonna say that, but they had their own views. You feel what I'm saying? And so I think it's different, but I really wanted to tap into the women, and I had a lot of people who wanted to come in, but I said, why would I have a show about divine feminism, and I have men in here? Like, this is a show for y'all, and I will let y'all explain what it is to y'all.
Next we need to have a co-ed show.
Definitely.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
Let's do that.
If you keep separating the two and not allowing us to build together to
Right.
have those difficult conversations, we just gonna be on separate ends of the spectrum.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you for the work though, because
It's all about balance.
Touch into this because they intimidated.
Oh yeah, it's all about balance, and not only balance, just respect and understanding. Because if we don't understand what we need from each other, then we don't even know how to balance each other. So I want to always start the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all my facts are right, but let's start the conversation so we can get to an understanding on how can we help each other in our community. Now, one thing about it, like I said, all of my shows are for everybody to educate, but most of my shows, as you know, are for the colors. And because I feel like we neglect our own community so much. And so that's why too I admire what y'all do in our communities, because we need that. We need women working in medicine naturally, because we see, especially for how they treat our women when they go to hospitals.
Oh man, it's getting crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy. The hospital's almost kind of like going into gang territory.
Oh yeah.
Like you better put your sets up because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, the world is so crazy right now. I was looking at the news. I don't know if y'all saw the things with the monkeys over in Japan going crazy
with them babies.
Yeah, like it's a big thing now in some cities in Japan. The monkeys are going crazy. They are beating up on old people and stealing trying to steal people's children.
Not trying. They stole that baby and and threw that baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now that was the first story I heard about it.
And
then I ended up seeing a video.
And all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, threw a baby off a building.
Stole the baby.
And then I saw one video. One was snatching the baby leg, and the parents were trying. I'm like, oh y'all, I would be beating the shit out of these monkeys.
It's funny that y'all talk about this. Right before I got here, I was watching this show on Netflix called Zoo. That's about when the animals finally get tired of being domesticated, caged in, and turn on the humans. So why are we here?
Why are we surprised?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
The thing is, with the movies, you always have to take heat. I think that's what we were talking about when we were talking about the movie Nope. I don't know if y'all seen Nope. If y'all have seen Nope, make sure let me know how y'all felt about it. I saw some of the previews of it, and one thing I can say, when it comes, we get into an era where they show a lot of space movies because it's real. You know,
they already got their real estate up there. That's why.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We over here trying to buy land in Africa. They're like, Africa.
Yeah,
we're on Neptune, bitch.
Yeah, and then too, even they taking over Africa. The Asians, all of them.
Worried about Earth no more.
Oh no.
Earth is ghetto.
Hopefully, they got new food up there, man. I'm ready to try some new meats or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Food down here getting a little boring.
You're gonna have to be like the ultimate influencer.
Yeah.
Get you up so that way you can be the first one. Hey, like Ruby Rush off the element. Not like Ruby Rush.
Oh, I love him though.
Without the blonde hair.
I love Ruby Rush.
Definitely though. We got to get into that, man. Definitely educate yourself on like how the government move. I feel like when COVID hit, it should have woke everybody up to know like, okay, it's some crazy shit going on right now.
It woke the people up who was supposed to wake up at the time.
Absolutely. But let's talk about right now. If we're gonna talk about right now with Divine Feminine. Let's talk about Roe versus Wade.
Come on, let's do that.
Anything with Divine Feminine being attacked, and let's just put this out here first. It's still very color based. Okay.
Of course.
Roe versus Wade is still black versus white. So at the end of the day, it's not really anything that we as a community can step up to and be like, oh yeah, this is something we can get behind. But it does affect us.
Definitely.
It affects us most though.
Absolutely.
Like I with the Roe versus Wade, because we're going to have the most difficulty gaining. We already have issues with reproductive health, especially Black women, maternal, and those type of things. So when this happens, it's just going to be more because you have to go out of state in some places. That requires money. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't work for one of these companies that is, we'll pay you to go out of state and do whatever you need to do, this is what's going to happen. It's going to affect people of color the most, people impoverished the most.
But here's the thing that I always, here's where we as Black women, Black people, always thrive. Because
we got the answers.
One day at the day, abortions by Mia, you're gonna be popping after a while. You know what I'm saying?
I already have a class, the Empowered Womb, that I'm teaching on the 13th.
How to do natural herbal
birth controlling.
Absolutely.
I'm very careful with my words.
Yeah.
Birth controlling, fertility, safer sex methods using natural remedies. So like,
oh man,
I hate that. I don't hate, like, it was just like, okay, well, here's the time to insert this knowledge here. Pivot. Yeah. It's like no excuses, adjustments. I'm realizing with just us as a people, we have to, in order to rise above the chaos, we have to realize that Constitution, none of that shit was written for us. None of it was written for us. So how are we supposed to survive? We have to rise above it. We have to realize, I got to know the Constitution and I got to know it ain't written for me.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm 100% with you on that, because one thing I did when I did do my research when it comes to the Roe versus Wade, 60%, and that goes into what you were saying about race. 60% of women who get abortions are white women. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to
And
you
you
for
know,
giving me that
all of a sudden,
information.
what?
That's
Just a
like the
few months.
70%.
Yeah, just a
Mhm.
few months ago, we saw that whites are becoming the new minorities.
And we talked about this last night too, just
Mm.
about how right now it's not even about black or white, it's about extinguishing what is black. So that way everything could be a mixed race.
Mhm.
You know, we still only have a partial vote in the voting process, period. Like our rights to vote are always up for grabs every 2 or so years.
Mhm.
And so at the end of the day, it's about extinguishing or at least clearing out or mulling the race line.
Mhm.
As long as everybody's intermixed, intermingled, there's no question about who gets the vote because shit, ain't no black people, there's no minorities. Everyone that technically is a new race.
True.
It's gonna get weird.
Or a new damn animal, because I heard at one school the kids are walking around calling themselves cats, and they walk around with cat ears, and their parents are taking them to court, so you will have to call them cats.
Huh?
Yeah.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they want to be cats, so they walk around with cat ears, and their parents are taking it to the courts. Like, my child wants to be called a cat, you call my child a cat, and they call themselves I don't know, the aristocrats or some shit. I don't know. They call themselves something, but it's like they have their own little, movement going on right now.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's the new age of the gothic kids. You know what I'm saying? The kids that used to sit out in the yard in front of school wearing the big ass pants and shit.
Wow.
So everything is changing, and now it makes you realize what your grandparents, your great grandparents went through with seeing the change. Like, I just lost my grandma; she was 94. So just seeing the change from her coming from Montgomery, Alabama, in the 1920s, being born in the 1920s, to come from Montgomery, Alabama during segregation. I remember my grandma telling us how the Klan hung a man on her street growing up, and they had to hide under the house. And what's funny about that is I've been doing a lot of ancestry. I just found my great 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 grandfather in a book it's called Alabama Outlaws and Scoundrels. And some white people trying to set him up. The Klan was trying to set him up and kill him. He ended up getting away, and he changed his name. And that's actually how I even found where he was buried at now, from running away. And just imagine how many of our grandparents went through that.
Mine did.
Right.
My grandfather did. He used to gamble and drink, and he was he could pay, his parents could pass for white. And so he thought, he was a little bit of
My grandfather was like
above
that.
everybody else. And then the Klan was like, no, you ain't. And they came knocking on the door, and he fled in the middle of the night, left my grandmother and all the kids. And then later on sent for him later after he escaped to Chicago. And then we ended up, and this was in the Delta. We was in Melvin, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what kind of hope she had to have back then.
Oh, yeah.
Man, this is the thing. I like what you said about they really didn't have a choice with marriage and stuff back then. I asked my grandmother when my grandfather died, would she ever get married again? She was like, no, never again. She was perfectly happy where she was at by herself.
Yeah.
They actually got divorced when she was 60, which was something new. Like, you don't get divorced, but he was whooping her ass.
Oh, yeah.
He was whooping her ass and broke her foot and all kinds of stuff. And
that's just another sign of example of how resilient women are, especially Black women.
Too resilient.
A lot of people, like I had both of my great grandmothers that I knew, they couldn't drive cars. They were so dependent on men. They didn't know how to drive. So dependent on men for a lot of times, but they still made things work. Like, regardless of what they didn't know, we didn't know that they didn't know it because we thought they could do everything.
Because the divine feminine gets pushed down. You know what I mean? Like, even though this was crazy, is we've been a matriarchal people for the longest, forever.
Even through slavery.
Forever.
You
even
had to raise other
patriarchal, society. Culture is, I gotta go ask grandma what grandma say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, man, with Black women, I don't see how people feel like they could disrespect Black women in any kind of form because of the struggle that they went through as
we
women.
already got issues. We already been traumatized.
Traumatized for years, and a lot of the traumas they were inherited from generation to generation. It was a guy on my job said, I don't see why Black people are still mad about slavery if you weren't there.
If I wasn't there,
I'm still feeling the effects. What are you talking about?
And do you not realize Like that was my grandmama there.
Right.
Like, what do you mean?
My real mom picked cotton. Like my mom.
My granddad picked on.
Picked
He's still
cotton.
living. Just turning
my
80.
mom is still living, but she doesn't like to ride past cotton fields. It bothers her.
But see,
When
here's
she
the
was a little
thing.
girl, she had to pick cotton.
Here's the thing. My mother didn't pick cotton. My family is from Tallahassee. There was plenty of cotton fields.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we don't talk enough about the other industries that Black people fuel. Because while my parents didn't pick cotton, I think my whole family on both sides fueled the seafood industry. Picking crabs, shellfish, and doing oyster shucking and all that stuff. There was a huge factory in certain areas down along the coast that we couldn't do nothing but work.
Pensacola was one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were loggers. We did maple syrup, logging. My grandmother was the doula.
Exactly.
And
Oh, really?
she was the doula, the midwife, all that.
That's
Yeah.
where we're at. And you can call it the divine feminine if you wish, but it is the mothering, it is the nurturing, it is the rebirthing, it is the healing, it is the wailing wall of where we are right now. Because where do you go when shit hurts the most? I mean, even me, I'm 36, and the other day, only thing I really wanted was my goddamn mama.
Yeah.
You know? So the divine feminine is literally being breadcrumbed right now. It's being replaced with images that are not feminine at all. They include females, but they're not feminine. And what is real is only being sectioned out to you. So you're thirsting for it, you're starving for it. And when you see it, you know it, but you can't reach it because it's not in plentiful.
Yeah. And then I think even with that, one of the biggest influences when it comes to that is making Black women look overly sexual.
I mean, that's the only thing that they have.
Yeah.
And that's really like their default. It's like we've already accomplished corporate takeover. We've already, sat at the top of every single table and chair and whatever that you have. But then it's our ass. Y'all seen the senator that in Boston, Michigan area? I think it was like what's that area? The Hamptons area, up north. She's a Black senator getting ready to go through the voting process, and she's advertising, and she turns upside down on her hands and does like pussy popping on her hands.
I saw that.
And was like, vote for me.
Yeah.
And obviously bad move.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's like that's what y'all want anyway.
Yeah.
I realized too, it's because our the definition of what is divine. We looked that up. It's literally of God, created of God. It's God. And then femininity. When I teach our classes, we teach magnetism and electricity, and that men are electric and women are feminine. So when you're looking for, I should say, magnet, we attract. We call in that thing that we want. And so if you're saying of God and the divine feminine part of God, then just what you're saying, you're looking at that aspect of a whole, what I'm saying, and calling on those particular divinities or those particular energies. And when you realize that is an innate thing, it's an innate thing, and you cannot replicate that. This is where we get this exploitation of, what else can we do to be like that? What we've been told femininity is, but it's the same. It doesn't have anything to do with what you can do physically, ability,
bundles,
none of that.
None of that. It has nothing to do with that. It is literally you stripped to your bare essential self and accepting the softest, most sensitive parts about yourself, man and woman. Because here's the thing, this whole divine masculinity, femininity thing, we still try to put a line down the middle.
True.
Like we don't have both. You have both.
You have both. You are electric and magnetic.
Yeah.
So if you talking about divine masculinity, but you are completely negating your divine femininity, men.
Yes.
Men. Okay. I'm sorry. Men. Okay. Then you're really doing us a disservice.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the connectivity. I mean, I'm just using a sexuality term right now, but this is foreplay. This is intimacy. This is sensuality. These are these terms that nobody has no clue about, but will hashtag the shit out of them real quick on their post. Like, it's a false advertisement.
It is, because we forget, like, even in ancient scripts, like the Bhagavad Gita and everything, they talk about Shakti and Shiva. And you have to have the balance. You have to have the up and the down in order to create the third direction, which is inward. And if we can't go inward to find that truth, to find that God within us, that divine feminine or divine masculine,
right.
What do we have? We get this pussy popping, which
Generation.
I don't have no problem with the pussy popping.
Let's
You know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
it, because
I don't
pussy
have no
popping
problem with it.
Our bodies
Yes.
and celebration and
Yes.
ritual for years.
Right.
Yes.
And so even that has been marred against us because y'all came and that's the first thing that y'all saw. But because y'all women can't do it, it gotta be something wrong.
Because you can't control your own desires and see a body as a natural thing that has movement and has fluidity and everything. That's the problem. I realize it's the exploitation of that. That's the problem.
That's what the
exploiting that.
That's what I think the problem is the intent behind it and the exploitation behind it.
Is
and then the thing is, like, they can control themselves, because even when you look at the way that they designed their clothes in the 17th, 18th century with the women, the white women
with the Mortys trying to make the big booties.
You didn't have enough to fill that up in the first place.
But my thing is, you stink.
That part.
You're walking around with this bouquet. They used to have the little flowers, the herbs, because there's no bathing, there's none of that going on. And so you're using these flowers. This is where we get this thing where we dress up the outside and not take care of the inside. That's the problem that I have with that too. Like that, you're trying to be this everything on the outside, and then we got a real problem on the inside.
I mean, and honestly, that's where we are right now with women and this identity of the divine feminine. They believe that this self-care, which is a whole completely totally fucked up idea that we have right now too. The self-care is care.
Period.
Self-care is the basic 5 levels of hierarchy of needs. Maslow. Anybody know who Maslow is?
You need to eat.
Google his okay? You got 5 needs that you got to take care of before you even mess with another human being. Okay?
Yeah.
And so you doing those things is not a major accomplishment. The fact that you can buy your own bundles, take care of your nails, put gas in your car, pay your own rent, bitch, you're supposed to do that.
You say you
like,
don't get no
that's
for that.
graduation to adulthood. You don't graduate from high school, get into adulthood, and be like, now I got to find somebody to take care of me like my parents.
Actually, that is what happened back in the day with white women. Like, that was the thing. They went to college. Yeah, we didn't get those. They went to college with the understanding that, especially, it was a Mona Lisa Smile. Remember that movie with Julia Roberts? Everything is based off a little bit of truth. And back then, a lot of the times, white women were prepped. You go to college, you do this thing, but it's to find a husband. It's to find someone to take care of you. Whereas African American women, people of color, we had
to go to actually get the degree.
I gotta go, or I gotta go with you to take care of me. You know what I mean? Like, that was my grandparents. Right. Yeah. So we can take
Yeah. So let me ask y'all this: when we get to the spiritual aspect of femininity, do y'all believe when it comes to God or Olodumare, or I don't know, God is God of many names? I threw that out there for a reason, for people don't understand.
You gonna piss them Israelites off? I'm just saying.
Hey, but do y'all believe that? Do y'all think that God is masculine or feminine energy?
Feminine. God is, if you look at, if everything is modeled off of that, if you have to give it a label, I'm going to give it feminine because of creation and the way that, it works.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to add to that. It's feminine because females don't have an issue denying their masculine parts. We embrace it much more differently than men do.
Right.
However, when it came down to the creation of this earth, this planet, us as beings, females or the woman was so smart enough to say, you know what? I need some balance. I need to create something that's, the opposite, polar opposite, so this thing can be evenly yoked. Man wasn't finna do that shit. So at the end of the day, it takes a woman. You know what I'm saying?
I also think too, it's the fact that, when you think about your thoughts and how you attract what you are, technically that's the feminine energy, that attraction. Where you create what you think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's been mislabeled, I think. And the how else do you take a power away from a people, or is to make yourself that God.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
That is
So-
100%
Tell them
true.
that they're powerless.
Yeah.
They ain't
That's
got
true.
it.
right?
That's true. And after telling people for so many years and you manifest that in your head, that's what it's gonna be. Like
Mhm.
if you go to then my dad was we always have deep conversations, of course. Man,
love
and
your
he was
dad.
like he was like, when you see an old house, you pass by an old house.
Mhm.
They said
And
they can't hear you, Jen. They
They
said
can't.
you need to talk up. That's okay.
Hey,
We gonna
y'all.
get it. Y'all
Oh,
know we
shoot,
live.
my
There we
bad.
go. There we go.
I feel like I'm gonna do church announcements. But you pass by a house that's old and you say, man, that house look haunted. The house might not be haunted, but for so many people passing by and they manifest that in their head,
Mhm.
then all of a sudden that energy is now in that house.
And then you tell your kids this. And then the kids be like, yeah, mama said that was old man so-and-so house and you don't go. It's
Exactly.
so crazy
And
how
that
works.
thought sits in that house,
Yes.
and it attracts that energy. That energy.
Yes. And that's what I tell people now, even when I started to transition from Christianity. A lot of times. Yeah.
I want to do something too, but you did it. That was good.
Yeah. And people will tell you, sometimes when you get away from it, the first thing you think is Jesus ain't real. That's the first thing. That's the first phase.
Right.
Until you do your research and you say, well,
Oh,
he was somebody. He just wasn't who y'all told me he was.
Right.
But then even if he wasn't real, so many people believe in him till he is real.
Yeah,
His consciousness is alive.
This has always been my argument with religion. Okay, at some point in time, the people, when we say two or more that gather and agree, are powerful. So if at some point in time someone said this bottle of liquor is a spirit,
yes,
and it's gonna help me in whatever it is I do, how are we saying that shit wrong?
right,
Certain people use crystals and say these crystals heal me and take away power and energy.
right.
How would you say that? So once people decide, or even you individually decide on a thing, and you believe in it, baby, who are we to tell you you're wrong?
And
Exactly.
science proves spirit. That's
Exactly.
what, we're learning. This goddamn bottle got energy.
Energy.
And it has influence.
Exactly.
You take it on, your energies change.
Exactly.
So there is the spirit right there.
Exactly. Sis said, Ia said that you could be a Christian too, though. And you can.
You can.
There is elevation in Christianity.
There
I
is.
will say that, but
Oh, but let me tell y'all something. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, you get to have whatever you believe. If we just go by your own Christian Bible, you're deathless. You don't die. When we die, we transition into the next, what we call the in-between life.
Yes.
And then we go somewhere else, right? Now,
Now,
if you get what you believe, this is how it works now. What you think is what you're going to have.
Come on,
if you're
man.
a Christian and you believe you got to wait on Jesus to come back in order to raise you from the dead, you're going to sleep a long time in that in-between time.
And
if you believe he's going to meet you at the gates, he's going to meet you at the gates because that's what he said he was available to do that for you. So that's the difference. That's what I want people to understand when we get to talking about Jesus and who you're going to, if you believe that you're not a good person and you're going to wake up in hell, that's what's going to happen for you.
All your damn sins,
that's you get
what
exactly
happens.
what you want
Absolutely.
when you move in on the other side. So you got to be careful with this.
Narrative.
It's so
narrative.
It's so funny
Yeah.
that you said that, because I've been thinking that without having a conversation for so long. Is that, and that's why now I never get on the topic of hell, because I'd say hell is not real.
Hell is on earth, actually.
Jesus told you got to be born again. He was talking about reincarnation.
Come
You
on,
can come
man.
back
Come
here
on.
if you don't get it right.
Come on.
If you didn't learn that lesson, or you can move on to another plane where you incarnate somewhere else.
Exactly.
I mean, like hell to me.
It also sounds a lot like these goddamn Marvel movies where everything is a third dimension and
but that's what it is. They have to put it in the movies.
Right.
See, us as a culture,
to dumb us down to it.
Us as a culture, we think that these are just movies. I remember growing up in the movies, Paranormal Activity came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's fake." For me, for what I experienced as a child, I took it way more serious. Okay, because
Candyman was not fake to me. Okay,
no.
Like, I'm not standing in front of nobody's mirror.
We wouldn't even do a Bloody Mary. I used to go to private school, and them girls used to, let's go do Bloody Mary in the bathroom. Why?
Yeah, because obviously for the story to come, it coming from somewhere, and it has some type of truth to it. Something had to happen to somebody for people to go on for years and years and years. It's just like religion.
Yeah.
And then one thing I do, even with religion, like I said, even with Christianity, I hate the fact that they try to make women, because even the church that one of the churches that I grew up in is an older Baptist church, and it's women can't be in the pulpit. Women, yeah.
But all of Jesus's followers was women.
Yeah.
All of he couldn't do anything without Mary Magdalene. He couldn't put his hands on women. Mary Magdalene had to be priestess because that was not okay.
And a lot of the same similarities are in E5 today too. And so there's certain things that, you know, even a Babalawo, he can inclusively do everything, but he does need a woman present because the woman is the open table. The woman is the divination. The woman is the message. And so, yeah, that's another show.
I got one more.
Come on, yeah.
This the Bible. This one, I love it. I've read it back and forward. It's some beautiful spells and curses and all kinds of stuff in there. My thing is, it's a plagiarized book.
Yes.
This book is based off of old Vedic, Kemetic, Hindu, India, all of it. If you ever get a chance to read some of these, it's just been rewritten in these words. And this is what we learn about the magic, the belly gazing, all the different stuff that we tell is taboo, but yet we write this book based off of these principles and then only teach part of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
or
my
only
thing.
teach it to certain people.
Only teach it. That for a long time.
Yeah.
You couldn't read. It was only written in Latin, so that you couldn't read it. You had to go to the priest to get them to write it, to explain it to you.
That's true. And even when you look at these scary movies and people are under demonic possession, they speak in Latin all the time.
All the time.
And then that's when you get into the creep measures that the Vatican pull. We ain't even gonna get into that right now, but that's another.
And people said, "Give me my headdress back." Did y'all see that?
But I think it's important for men to see women in this position right here.
Yes.
To be able to sit in a conversation, to know, I don't want to say to know the same shit y'all know, but we've already had the conversation. We've already been 2 times. Like, moms, when we get together, we don't be talking about having wine and fucking charcuterie boards. We be trying to take over the world too, to make sure that our seeds, our families are protected. So once again, there's a clear divide between what's divine, feminine, and masculine. Baby, we got both. And we know how to channel both. Our power is in channeling both.
Yeah.
We need our masculine or our men to catch up and to
we got to work so damn hard.
Exactly. We need y'all to understand that we have the ability to, there is no male roles, women roles. There's no, what you can do and I can't do, or women can't do what men can do. Bitch, fuck you. Okay? Because you can't even birth yourself. So, okay?
And there's proof that there was a time where women were able to have babies without having sex, without a man.
That's true. That's true. And that's something that I've read.
And you wonder about this.
They can do it right now.
Right, do it right now. So you wonder what has changed.
Exactly. Exactly.
What has changed?
So what do y'all feel about this whole alpha male movement?
I don't even understand what that is.
That's a narcissistic man.
It sounds like it.
Who is literally at the precipice of having a decision to go on the other side and actually blend his feminine ways with his masculine to balance his ass out, but ego has taken control. Yeah. That's what that is. That's alpha male. Because innately, it was a post.
That's a good way to put it.
Her name is Delion or Delia King. She made a post about whether or not men should pursue relationships with women if they don't have their shit together. And a man responded and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be the first to tell you, it don't matter if he's broke, homeless, has a shitty plan, no plan, a car, staying with his mama, whatever. A man's innate desire has been trained to lead. He has to lead something. You know what I'm saying? So he's looking for something to lead. And if he can lead you enough to get your pussy, he's gonna lead you into whatever shitty plan he has, whatever shitty idea. Now, you and us as women, we bosses. I'm sorry. We're gonna figure out a way to sell lashes, cook plates, babysit, do hair, something to get an extra income. Okay? So in that, instead of you supporting us in what we're doing, babe, what can I do? Can I clean up? You need to go put out flyers, whatever. You don't want to support us. You completely negate our talents, our gifts, and everything, and want us to get behind your
Behind
shit.
your
Yes,
shit.
nothing planned. You don't have nothing planned. You have a lot of ideas, and a lot of them which will take work and fruit to put forth. But
I have this right here
I
already.
got some now,
right
four things, and all I need is a man to support me, so I can get that extra battery pack in my bag to bring everything together. So yes, you can do what you need to do now. Why is that a problem for men? That is where we are right now.
Why you gotta want to lead?
Why you gotta want to leave?
Why you gotta
Well,
want
I
to
think
leave?
that all
Why
plays a
you
part
can't just take a
into.
break, baby? Because listen, I got this right now. Okay,
Well-
your time coming up. I'm gonna let you lead this bitch, but I got it right now.
Well, I think that
This man said you need a man there to check some of this shit. Invite me on the show.
Who is this?
Kamoy McIntyre.
I think you're on the wrong one.
He said, he was quick with it. Jamaican energy. Yeah.
He said Jamaican energy follow us. No, y'all Jamaicans.
But see, I think
maybe by one of y'all. I got out. I was able to get out. So,
I think religion plays a part into that. The teachers of religions of a man leading.
Absolutely, because nobody wants to let go, and that's the whole thing with us as Black people. We don't want to let go.
Yeah,
we hold on to whatever we can as identity because everything's been stripped of us.
Yes,
that's why we claim cities that ain't ours. We claim zip codes that in 305
neighborhoods, everything.
Baby, go to hell.
It's so funny that you said that, Ia, because I was just having a conversation, which I made the post about. A lot of people are making African spirituality look ghetto.
It is.
And I felt like a street nigga is a follower. That's somebody who's looking at somebody else, and I feel like I have to design myself to be this way instead of doing what I really want to do.
Right.
So I feel like the hood, people go into hood and say, I'm from this hood, I'm from Shenantown, I'm from this hood. The hood was not designed for us to stay in the hood.
Technically, it was.
Oh, well, it was, but
the government
for us and the way our people, exactly, the people we were raised from, unless you was raised by Florida Evans, it was.
She didn't want to go nowhere. She want to leave that apartment.
Yeah.
Damn, she didn't want to go to the fucking salon.
But James didn't have a plan.
He didn't.
He really didn't.
He didn't have a plan.
Goes back to my point.
She said, "Where we gonna go?"
Yeah.
You got this shitty ass plan to get this shitty ass job, bruh. Like
you steady going to pick up that goddamn pool stick.
We can say the shitty ass apartment. Yeah, you cook the shitty ass food.
Yeah. So I know for a lot of, which I ain't gonna go into that right now because we're gonna definitely get up on that.
Interesting.
But
but see, that depends on where you go in Africa. We can all of Africa is not the same.
It's not.
It's definitely because there's a lot of colonizing going on in Africa. Do you see that right now? I was just watching a video how the Christians are eating the Muslims in Africa right now. Eating the Muslims in Africa right now.
So really what's happening is what happened in slavery has happened all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Just from the mentality state. Because they were already enslaved even in their own country.
Yes.
Now it just was from a mentality state. Like y'all really believe that y'all are more American than us. And we don't even like it here. We were under this farce that we wanted to go back there, and y'all got all of Africa fucked up. Y'all ain't kept nothing original. There's nothing indigenous. Like everything is for sale, even the culture, even the religion.
Yeah.
And so
this pimping of spirituality is a thing that I've noticed a lot. Like you do not have to. There's a lot of stuff we just like we even go back to the Bible. Some of it you can do in your prayer closet. You know what I'm saying? You get now, do it just for yourself, by yourself, and don't tell nobody. And see the results that you get.
Absolutely.
That's what is amazing to me.
So what do y'all think that they try to keep women out of spiritual leadership?
Because we're powerful as
because
hell.
We have the woman. Everything starts
we
here.
are powerful.
That's why I make race bees, baby. Because we are the only thing that can create life. And let's just start there.
Tell us your intent with the waist beads. Can you explain that for us, Ia?
First of all, waist beads is kind of like everybody trying to go back to Africa. Waist beads aren't going back to Africa.
And let me say this though, Africa is also here.
Yes, I mean Africa started out as one big
part,
and then it broke up.
Right.
Science, geology, whatever you want to call it. But all of this shit, Africa.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But naturally, us as women, we use waist beads for not only spiritual purposes and protection, but also initiations that allow the community to let them know who and where we were within our process as well. Young children weren't supposed to be touched during certain processes they had on certain waist beads. Leggings too. Like all of these adornments meant things.
Right.
Now, originally, yes, waist beads were made to help young children at the time because women were married much younger in Africa.
Right.
So women who had smaller bodies, they were given certain waist beads to help contour their shape. That's where we fucked it up with, you know, in our culture. We want to get waist beads because we want to lose weight. We want something like waist trainer. Baby, listen, you don't want this life, okay? First of all, because these don't go nowhere. You can't take these off after you're done with your shower, okay? You gotta sleep in them.
You roll.
You gotta roll in them, okay? Listen, and they are the fuck comfortable, okay? But in that, they originally became a shaper for younger children to look more attractive to older men, so they could be married, okay? So that is the patriarchy in it already, okay?
Yeah.
In that, from there, they began to get multiple waist beads for different elements in their life. Receive your period. Now you have a new village, whatever. You become a queen, whatever the issue is. But that's what waist beads were for. What I make them for is for women to start over. Like normally when women come to me, they think that they want waist beads to lose weight, and I'm with it. I'm down for it. Like, yeah, girl, let's lose weight because normally weight is waste. Weight is waste that is
and there's a reason we put it on.
Absolutely. And it don't agree with your bodily vessel no more. So you come and you find yourself here in my living room getting waist beads. Cool, let's do this. Oh, I want to lose weight. Okay. You think that's what you're doing. But 3-4 weeks later, you come back to me and say, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on, but XYZ, I'm feeling 1, 2, 3. It's an evolution. Women have not been taught properly how to reconnect, how to get back. This whole like, oh, I don't hang out with other women. Like we have been improperly trained on even our own divine femininity. So yes, like you said earlier, like Marni said, we've been trained to put on the armor of what divine femininity. It's not lashes. It's not long nails. Those things accentuate our culture as Black women and Black people and how we've been able to express ourselves through oppression. Yes.
I also want to say it's not locks. It's not waist beads.
It's not.
It's not eleke. It's not those things at all. Like it's none of the anything you can put. There's nothing you can put on to make yourself more spiritual. To make yourself
divine
more.
Femininity is the ability to talk to yourself nice. Okay. Most of us have inner voices that have two sides. One is real rough and real ghetto, and the other one's like, come on now. We allow the ghetto one to be the loudest one because that's what it does. It speaks loud. But it's the softer voice. It's the you.
And it's usually the first voice you hear.
Absolutely. That's the one you ignore.
That one you ignore. That is divine feminine. That's your intuition. And all of that goes back to self-love. It goes back to self-worth. Because when you learn to hear your voice and trust yourself, then and act on that. It's one thing. I have a student right now. Me and her, we get into it a little bit because she's so super gifted. She's afraid and she won't speak out. She won't say anything. So your gift is sitting there, you know, and you wonder why you're having problems in your body or you're having problems with relationships because you're not operating in that gift that you have, which is linked back to that third direction, that inward direction, that intuition. All of that that's a gift.
So when it comes to the voices of hearing that or listening to your aura, how do you think that, or what kind of advice can you give to women to make that voice louder?
You gotta connect to your crown.
Honestly, it's a process. You know, we were talking about this last night in class. Like, I can't give you any real blueprint because for everybody, depending on your prior experience, it's going to be a different navigation of how you get there.
Right.
Okay. But the only thing I can say is you have to quiet everybody else's voice to be able to listen to self.
And the only way to do that is to sit with self quietly.
And nobody likes to do that.
And nobody wants to do that. And like me and Ren just got through going through the chakra series. And that took 7 months for us to get to the head, the top, you know what I'm saying, to get to the crown. But I promise you, when you get there and you've done that work in between, not only is it a little bit easier to hear your voice, because truthfully, the crown chakra doesn't sit on the head. It sits above the head. And there's nothing you can do. You can't eat to engage it. You can't wear color to engage it. You have to detoxify, detoxify, and abstain in order to connect to the crown, so that you can hear yourself clearly. Because only you know your voice, you know.
And I think even with that, with her saying, of course, the question was engaged was towards women, but I think even for men, we have a hard time doing that. I've been trying to get into meditation.
Men.
I'm trying to find a better way to sit. I think that'd be my distraction, to sit with my back straight. And then when I try to lay down and do it, I went to sleep.
There's a way to do it though.
Okay.
And meditation Camilla is a great one to help you get there too, because she teaches yoga first, right? And what we learn first is that emotions sit in the body in different spaces, in different places, in different zones. And so the Vedics, the old Kemetic teachers, you would actually do movement first. And you would work out those emotions first. Your anger lives in your hips, all this kind of stuff. So you find those positions, you stretch, and then after you've done a good and I do recommend yoga, because it teaches you got to listen your body, and you got to listen to your body. Your body is innate and intuitive. It is actually, your body is more intuitive and smarter than your brain. And so once you work out all those emotions that sit in your aura, then your aura becomes balanced, and then you can sit with your crown and you can meditate. You'll be surprised at, okay, I was able to sit for 10 minutes with a voice and visualize.
We just talked about this last night. You
got to practice visualization too. It's a practice.
Absolutely.
It's not something you're going to get overnight. You have to practice it.
And listen, it's funny. We just talked about this last night, because we talked about kids and how kids like stay up late, and we talk about the witching hour to 4. Like, well, what do I do when I'm up? You pray. Ask yourself, why the fuck am I up? Hey y'all, what's up? What y'all need from me? But they were asking more so about kids. Like, what do you do with your kids when they're up during that time? Kids are still connected. So they
actually super close to them. I call them fresh.
You leave them alone. It's what you do. You know what I'm saying? You ask them questions. We have a really big 182 with how we deal with kids. I just saw a video I posted in our Spirit Be Knowing group about how the guy says, different stages of how we develop our kids into toxicity. 1 through 7 is their most primal point, where they really don't need to listen to us, but they're being trained from us, from all of our inner voices, all of our inner childs, our shadow work that we haven't done. And we're training them based on our fear. And
we're raising. It's crazy how it works too, because technically the house you grew up in is the house that you create at first for your own child.
And
that is true.
And then at some point in time,
you wake up and be like, wait a minute.
Holy shit, this is deja vu. I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that is called your awakening. That's your divine feminine.
Yeah. And that
divine masculinity is the ability to also put forth the hard work to continue to rebuild foundation. Divine masculinity is staying really, really trotted in the work. Divine feminine is intuition. It's one of those things that comes. Masculinity allows you to do the work, to persevere, to push forward, to have that headspace to go out there and poke the world. Divine feminine, you're gonna do that anyway.
So let me ask y'all this in regards to the divine masculinity. Do you think sexuality plays a part into that?
So I'm so glad that you said this.
Well, I got a question. I got a question about, because when you say sexuality, what is your question?
And sexuality when it comes to either women and women or men and men, because this is the era we live in now.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Marni lead this.
Okay.
The place right now, my head is not allowing me to.
I think there are places you cannot go unless you tap in. There are things that will not be developed technically unless you experience that. And I also think that is one problem that we have in the community, is this judgment on people's choices. Technically, if I'm deathless and I learned my lesson, it doesn't matter about my sexuality
at all
and what I do.
And if you believe in reincarnation,
yes.
Baby, my pussy new. Okay. I'm sorry. your virginity. Don't come for me. Shoot.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah. So-
I mean,
There's certain things that sex opens up.
Mhm.
And
It
there's certain
does.
things that you get with sex with a man, and certain things you get when you get with sex with a woman. We call today cis woman, cis man. But then there's where if you just think of sex as sex, and or you just pleasure and enjoy, there's difference. And technically, in every book that we've looked at, it all, they all talk about the joining,
Mhm.
of Shakti and Shiva. So
Yeah.
I think it's important. Do I care if I don't think that you can't not be divine masculine just because you're with someone else who is masculine.
Yeah.
I don't believe that at all. Because again, it's in
It's balanced.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I have masculine
Right.
and feminine energy inside of me.
And so this goes to the point, especially to men who like to talk about women about submission and about
You can submit too, bro.
You heard sis. Y'all have to submit.
Sometimes y'all would do good. You'll win. Like you'll be like, damn, this was nice.
It was
Yeah.
easy. See how
Yeah.
easy that was? Like, and most of the times, where we are right now is at a flip state. Where normally men would do most of the major heavy lifting of the
Heavy
courting.
lifting,
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not there. Y'all actually, y'all can be housewives, actually. So what does that look like to be? Does your divine masculine really depreciate because you decide to let your woman leave and you stay at home and take care of the kids?
Or does your divine masculine be less because you choose a partner that is masculine like you?
Right.
Or
that wants to
feminine
go
like
for
you.
the bag, who's
Right.
been trained. Like, okay, the whole thing is that there's this narrative between or behind people or children who are raised by single parents. You're missing something. You lack something, which is either your father or your mother. Okay, I lack nothing.
Not at all.
I don't lack shit. Okay, so in that, the argument is, okay, well, can I be able to allow the divine masculine to take over? Absolutely, but I have both. I have both. And so in that, don't look at me as an imbalance because you're still missing something. Accept where I am and let's work it out. We are still very much at a very fragile state where we're not accepting that the two belong together.
Right.
And so,
or that you can have both energies in same-sex couples and
How
same-sex partners. Like you're gonna still get
or even
that
in different
energy.
sex partners, like you're supposed
Whatever.
to
You
have that.
right.
Like you can't just be divine masculine and not know how to be sensual.
Right.
Not know how
to be nurturing, how to listen. Intuition is about listening. And I think that any partner will do well to listen to their partner's body, their nonverbal communications, your intuition on, okay, I'm connecting to this person like this or like that. Like this is what it's about. We're all here to learn relationship.
That's it. That's it. And so when we went back to like definitions on, what certain things are, like we need to redefine what dating is, what courting, what is sex. What's sexuality?
Yeah.
Because, even and then I heard a girl say the other day, like, y'all niggas really do be thinking that y'all be fucking us. We be fucking y'all. And a dude got really tight about that because he didn't want to accept the fact that
he was getting fucked.
Yeah. Right.
I can see that now.
Right.
Because a couple years ago, I would have felt some type of way.
Right.
But I think for real.
But you be sitting there clutching your pearls.
See, because I get it now. I feel like, especially like I said, because I'm bad.
Oh, she takes me.
Look. We had a conversation. I think it was last year. We went to gallery night. I think you was there, one of my good friends. Yeah. And we got into the conversation of women not having orgasms. And
It happens.
I talked to a woman who was in her late 40s with two children who one of them was adults. And she said she had never had an orgasm from a man before. And I'm thinking, you got two kids?
Yeah.
But that shows my lack of understanding, especially when it comes to
what
sex.
it takes to have an orgasm.
Yeah.
Versus
because then I realized with men, now, because I am a man,
Mhm.
a lot of times we have sex for ourselves.
Yes.
Well, let's.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I gotta be. This is where we gotta come become Big E for a second. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about Big Baba Ogun, okay? Because he's been in my spirit all day. I watched a documentary on him. Let's start with sex. Sex originally was made and created for procreation only.
Mhm.
Okay, it was made so that way we could recreate and repopulate the earth,
Right.
the population. Now, Spirit, Ogun, whoever you want to say, knew that we wouldn't do it unless it was pleasurable, unless it felt good. It gave us some type of feeling afterwards. So they made it pleasurable. But then, you gotta think about it. Would you really have sex if the shit wasn't pleasurable? Like, it's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of exchange.
Mhm.
So even in the point of sex, it's for procreation.
Mhm.
At the end of that, if you don't have a condom or a barrier or anything in between, the seed will travel to the egg and life will be created.
That's it.
That's regardless of how you feel, whatever intimacy that your body needs, touch, whatever. Procreation is supposed to happen.
Mhm.
But thank God they made it feel good, because otherwise,
Yeah.
goddamn babies.
I think that, and I think sex is for pleasure. I think that it's a pleasure. It was supposed to be originally pleasure, and I think that like procreation is like a side effect, like
That's
a
a great way to
symptom
put it,
of
too.
it.
Yeah.
Only because just scientifically, we looked at some women, back in the day could procreate without a man.
Right.
That makes me wonder, okay, but then it also makes sense because it would help us make children faster.
Absolutely.
Also.
Right.
But that also speaks to the duality of women.
Duality.
I don't
being
mean to
able
say
to
it.
do
We
it
can
all.
have you or we cannot have you. Either way, we're
Yeah.
gonna make this shit pop.
We
So
gonna
it's-
make it. We
So
gonna
it's
make
on
it.
you, big dog. Like,
Yeah.
what's up? You
Yeah.
know, even the orgasm. Like, I almost wanted to say it, but I don't want to make anybody feel like I float in any other different direction because I love men. But I almost sometimes feel like the best way to teach a woman how to have an orgasm is another woman.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, how your body is something that it takes a really innate, divine, feminine.
So it's
man.
another intuition, listening, and
You feel if you're not a man who is tapped into that divine feminine, you're not going to be able to read my body.
And how can you do that unless you get fucked?
By a real one, okay? By a real one, okay? And well on top of that, okay? And so here's the thing with certain things, like right now in the sensuality industry.
Mhm.
When we think about the sex industry, we think hardcore, we think real, like, oh, people fucking and shit. No. Tantra is one of those things that is so on the rise, but so not being given the opportunity and credit that it deserves.
Can you explain that?
I will start. I will let Marni complete.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I'm a novice and I'm just now getting into understanding that what I've been doing has been Tantra.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So because we practice so many different things from different religions and backgrounds, I come from a hoodoo Gullah Geechee background. My grandmother's taught me how to lay hands. And there was never anything religious behind it. It was how to pull energy. And so that's what I know. I deal directly with men. Okay, I really have just started dealing with women and their ability to orgasm. But I deal with men and their sexual blockages because they're not tapped into their divine feminine. Okay? So a lot of times they can't fuck their wives. They can't come. Okay? They are over sexualized or overstimulated by just sex. And they don't know how to soothe the more nurturing parts of themselves.
Yeah.
Tantra allows you to physically touch, but also not to physically touch the body, but also the spirit, the auric fields, to be able to move shit, to pull stuff off, to replace and rejuvenate. Now I'm swing to Marni because I know she's waiting to finish.
No, I was getting good.
Yeah.
I'm a
But
yogi.
yeah.
I'm a yogi. So Tantra for us is a way. It's actually a avenue of yoga. It's
Absolutely.
an avenue of yoga, and tantric is the belief system that all things are good.
Absolutely.
Everything you get to enjoy.
Absolutely.
There's duality in it. You get to enjoy the non-touching or the touching. It's being aware of all things are good in that sense. You can experience pleasure. You can experience spirituality. You can do both. It's that kind of thing.
Baby, you can cry, you can
All of
laugh, you can do all of the things. And it's also shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
A
Very
lot
much
of people
so.
don't realize that that shadow work that's in the sensual, sexual side, because you have trauma from sexuality. Some people have been molested, raped, touched illicitly, and don't haven't dealt with it. It becomes one of those things. It's like, wow.
There's many paths to yoga. Yoga means to yoke, to or oneness. And so tantric is there are different disciplines of yoga, and what happens is that there's like so many rules. Tantric is the one that says, no, hold on, experience all of life.
Exactly.
Take all of it in. Even the small, minute things. Yes. Smell this. Enjoy this. Look at this pineapple. Look at the color. Eat it. Savor it. Like, that's tantric. Do that too. It's okay. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
All parts. And so I enjoy tantric, that type. I think that another thing is like, I don't even think people realize when Beyonce was doing her little dance, the partition, she was on a tantric chair. And so she's putting that information out there too. And then we're just like, oh, look at this beautiful. Here we go with the exploitation. She doing this stripper dance. She's on a chair designed for tantric pleasures. Yeah.
So why do y'all think that, especially in our community, talking about sex is so taboo?
Because we've been told that it's taboo. We've been told that that's the way you do it. And for a long time, you got to realize we didn't get to have sex for enjoyment.
Yeah.
We didn't get to have sex for enjoyment. You had to breed.
Yeah.
You had to breed.
You had to come to like the person that you was with. You wanted love.
I might not even like this man from across the plantation over here.
And so the confusion and the intimacy, this feels good. But
this ain't good.
Person.
Right.
Y'all got me over here fucking Moses. And
this is the best.
Right. I was with Moses yesterday and Peter last week.
Yeah.
That's rough. So we have a lot of generational stuff to overcome. Whereas more cultures, because that's another thing. When you tantric is technically anything, in my opinion, from my is African, Kemetic. All of them start with Pangea and start with us being all together. And so what happens is you remove us from that, and we no longer remember that we once enjoyed sex. It used to be back in the day in Egypt.
We once walked around naked. It was no enticement.
You could go in a temple and have sex with another woman. There were poly relationships, all those things. You could have sex with another man. There was nothing. If this is what you enjoy, a lot of those temples, that's what they were about. Right. This is what we do over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they still have them here. Or now they call them swingers clubs and all that stuff like that.
Just go in.
Yeah.
It's a temple.
There are shout out to Sweet Love Sanctuary. I will shout her out. Because in Texas, my homegirl, she has
what part of Texas?
I heard you saying Sweet Love Sanctuary. What?
Shout out to Houston Third Ward.
WWW.
Listen, we're gonna take a field trip because I think it's essential. I'm all about experiencing what it's like for freedom. And at Sweet Love Sanctuary, honestly, your option at the door is close or no close.
Oh, that's what's
you know what I'm saying? Because it's a holy place. But how can you be holy with all these things on
weighing you down?
Like you got labels, you got other people's energy that created this stuff that you're wearing for a particular intent. I'm gonna need you to take that off.
And then that goes into even thinking of the story of people who are believers in Adam and Eve, how they first came to be. It wasn't clothing. So now, when you do see somebody, you can see somebody, and people make big deals about women breastfeeding in public, or
they kill me with that.
Nudist. You remember how Erykah Badu walked on her video and took off her clothes?
Let's go to Kevin Hart, who just had an interview yesterday with some guy who's a player that says that he likes to go to Luke's college
with his wife.
Like they do this frequently. He's like,
I then try to make a joke out of it.
No desire to be around other naked
and
people.
that is his own issue, his own ego.
But you fucked other women.
But you don't want to. But you don't want nobody.
On her.
You really don't want anybody looking at your wife. But you got this ego thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nobody looking at your wife. You don't want to looking at your.
Because Lord forbid anybody find her attractive
or judge you.
Like you fucked off on her,
right? Or judge you.
I think me personally, I always wanted to be a part of stuff like that, but not because I wanted to participate.
Marni, when it opens,
yeah.
You gotta be. I already know what time.
We have to be open.
It's a club in New Orleans called Colette's.
I've been there. Colette's.
They have one in. They have one in Atlanta too. They have one in Atlanta too.
One down South Florida.
I know about one in South Florida.
Yeah.
But I know it's
Colette in New Orleans is nothing
Yeah.
but a red.
It's like a
bar.
bar.
That shit is dope.
Yeah, it's like $40 a person to go in. Yeah.
Actually, you can be free if you're a member. You know.
Okay,
if
yeah.
you're a member.
But see, I tried to go, but my friends who I was with, they were like, we weren't on that type of shit.
No, baby,
But to me, I feel like it's not about
people who are
engaging.
open.
It's
Yes.
about the experience
It
of just
is.
seeing people who.
We went there. It was amazing to see people who are open. There was nobody hating on what nobody had on.
Right.
Everybody was there for. They knew what they were there for.
Right.
They were there for sex
And
and
openness.
openness
Right.
and whatever they wanted. And it appeals to the things that we call taboo
Absolutely.
in society that you're doing behind
Right.
closed doors.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if you
But it's
queen
pretty
sucking
cool.
dick, suck dick. Hell. Like, it's a girl I follow online, funny ass Janice. I love her because she is, first of all, she represents for all of the darker skinned females.
Mhm.
Everybody who can't pass the paper bag test, I am for it because they don't get enough credit. But
Mhm.
number one, she's a sex worker.
Mhm.
She tells the truth about how women and men are attracted to it and how her clients tell the truth about what it is that they desire. Like, man, it's everything.
Talk about being free with your
Listen.
voice chakra. You know what
Oh my
I'm saying? With your
God.
boundaries and
And
stuff.
shows
being
you
able
how
speak.
to flex your
Yes.
muscles, those muscles, how to get that deeper in there.
Mhm.
Like, baby, she ordered a 12-inch kielbasa. I almost called her my baby mama. Like, I almost want to marry you. I did. But, you know, I know what I like. I'm just saying, like, you know, like Marni said, I'm for the Sukihanas.
I love Sukihana.
I'm
with
for
the
the
good pussy.
chameleons. I'm for the
Sukihana, I follow you on Instagram.
Trapnista, Trapdanza chick that does all the Telfar.
Ghetto Barbie.
Yes.
I love you too, girl.
I love because listen, at the end of the day, there is no medium for us as Black girls to be, you know, just like safe, divine, feminine. We're either super, super conservative or we are Sukihana.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
And we can be both. We
and
can have it all.
And so me and Marni are telling you, we're both.
I'm both.
Yeah.
I do it all.
We're
Have
both as
fun.
fuck. Like listen, if you're looking for me to be Ia, who is wholly comedically bound,
They
to
know
some
where to
type of-
find you at.
that's fine. But I'm also sometimes my flesh and who I am as a divine feminine wants to see how good my ass can twerk and my muscles can isolate now because I've been practicing.
Good job.
I want to see if Instagram and Facebook can agree with me. Am I doing a good job?
Yeah.
It's not because I'm insecure. It's because I'm secure in my shit and I'm coming to y'all hoping that you can open up to your own availabilities to be the same.
And I realized something too. If that's what you like, that's what you like. We have to stop judging people on what they like to do. I stopped being like, oh, you keep posting all this stuff. I don't care what if that's what makes you feel good,
Listen,
do it.
Listen.
Because I'm learning that's what tantric is.
And people work better when they're doing what they
Mhm.
feel is good to them
Yeah.
or right by them.
that's why I think people need to have more sex
Mhm.
because we put way too much stimulation and stipulation on when, where, how.
Gotta get me. Oh my God.
And I do want to throw up out there that they said that men should have sex at least 72 times a month.
72. How many times a week is that? Let's just break
That's
it down.
technically what, twice a day?
Yeah, that's technically.
But that's what y'all be wanting.
Nigga, morning sex, absolutely. Tune me out as the day is done and I need a release. Absolutely. If we could stick a lunch break fuck in there, cool. But twice a day sounds about accurate. If we skip a day just because I got a podcast to do or something, then we understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10 times a week is
It's good for y'all prostate and y'all kidneys.
That's exactly what I saw the study was
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good for your prostate and your kidneys. And so
it's good for my throat chakra.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. Listen.
So I'm gonna say we gonna get into what some of the fans like to say.
Okay.
I don't know
right?
about this Kenny.
Hey,
thing. He's
Erica.
straight.
Look, I was finna go to him
Trash.
first. He was
Like,
saying,
Kenny, I just want you to know you are trash. You really are. I've been reading your stuff. And you are straight trash.
He
And
said-
I hope you get a good woman, and she gonna
you
show you just that.
so what do y'all think about that? Why his comment?
It's-
I mean,
First of all, he
honestly,
can't
hasn't been
spell.
fought good. That's all. No.
Oh,
Let me stop. Nah,
He's clearly got issues with his ego and narcissism
Absolutely.
because he doesn't want to shift the balance of the world. But we got a problem in this world right now, and usually it's you the reason.
Yeah, well, I think it's. He said he was Jamaican, and I think it's a cultural difference
It
too.
can be. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sure that it's right. though.
Not saying, yeah, and it's not no
because
shots fired, but
yeah.
it's we come from a different culture.
Even in
Shots
Jamaica.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm not going to that.
No,
in
my ear got the
Jamaica
ammo.
Or America or
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that situation now with my son's father who likes to use the cultural differences. He's Jamaican against, you're a Yankee. You don't have no principle. Like, y'all a little fucked up over there too. You know, and it's not even a comparison at this point in time. Like, just stop, bro. Just stop. Like, nobody needs any more. Y'all just a boat ride up ahead of us, okay?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
boat ride.
Just chill. Just chill.
Son, my cuz, what's up, cuz? Was saying that tantra is more sensual and spiritual. It takes connection of all senses.
That's one part of it.
Actually, it doesn't involve rose petals. It has nothing to do with Hennessy. It has nothing to do with a hotel room either. Tantric can be literally anywhere. And it can be seizing the opportunity.
Savoring things.
It is.
Like you're savoring.
It is.
Like if I'm going to taste this pineapple, I'm going to taste it with my mind, my tongue. I'm going to listen.
Your tongue,
all of that.
my tongue. And we're going to enjoy it together.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And my sister said women are very powerful. I've always said this. I felt like women were the brains and the men was the body. So the men have to do the physical work, and the women, they think better. Women think better.
We do. We have the ability to multitask in our brain and compartmentalize like no other beings, and it is science proves that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we haven't really talked about the root of it. Okay, divine femininity has a root, and of course, the root is always going to be the mother. Okay, a lot of people are missing the root because they haven't been mothered, and I'm speaking more so particularly to men right now, because it's where I'm dealing with a lot of my healing work is men who, of course, are very highly intuitive to their, or think they're intuitive to their divine masculinity, but have no acceptance or concept of what divine femininity is because they haven't been mothered. They have ill relationships with their mother. And I'm talking about men from 2-parent households, okay?
Yeah.
They have a very divisible image of what a mother does or what she didn't do and what the father does or didn't do.
Yeah.
And let's just say many of our men are broken. They missed the mark when it came down
of
to
course.
properly mothered, properly nurtured, and are still looking for that in their relationships. Wrong as fuck.
Yeah. But see, I think that comes from, it's multiple reasons where things that can come from, because a lot of times a lot of men who grew up in single homes, we sometimes are raised by broken women.
Absolutely.
And they're raising what they were in.
And what they were in. Absolutely. And then they construct the man to what they construct their son into what they believe a man should be, which is the man that they keep attracting that they can't keep.
Because the problem with that is that, again, thought you're going to create whatever you think of. And so the fact that you're steadily thinking that I don't want this type of man, the universe doesn't see that you don't want. You just keep thinking on this type of man.
Yes.
So this is what you attract, or this type of partner.
And that goes into how you raise your kids. I don't want you ain't going to be like your daddy. You ain't going to be like your daddy. But then you're going to say, you look just like, every time you get pissed off, you say, you look just like your daddy.
She gave me some really good advice. And one thing was, she was like, you have to parent yourself. No matter what, you have to be the parent to yourself.
Absolutely.
This is self-love that you wanted to have, or what you felt like you should have had or could have had.
And honestly, let your kid parent you.
Yes.
Kids are the best teachers.
They are.
Like, my son be getting in my ass. I ain't even gonna lie.
It's
It's
funny that you said it, because a lot of times when we look at, especially growing up in a black home, it's like kind of like a democracy. Like you can't have a say so. And that is why I think a lot of kids still hold on to that trauma. They go to schools and act out because nobody's asking them what's wrong. Or why are you acting like this?
That little girl that went viral at the church outing, and she was telling them how, well, I'm just gonna tell you, y'all make us feel bad. Did y'all see that video?
I didn't see that one yet.
Girl, they asked, she was like, well, since we're gonna talk about it, she couldn't be more than 12 or 13. She said her mom was very open. She says, and it was a talk show, and she was saying how her mom allowed her to speak and say what she needed to say. However, they had an understanding when it gets disrespectful, you have to let me know, mama.
Right.
Because she didn't know she was even
know.
being disrespectful.
Right.
Exactly.
But she talked about how when we tell our kids, I pay the bills and I do all this kind of stuff, how you are making them feel bad for even being here.
That's
like,
true.
You make me feel like you don't even want me
And
because I didn't ask to be here.
Here's the healing work. I'm guilty of that.
Me too.
I'm guilty of that.
Me too.
Because
I can take all the bills and lay them on. You see these motherfucking bills?
Listen.
Did you pay in it, motherfucker?
Right.
One of them?
Do you know how much
That's what I learned.
All I ask you to do is
That's it.
listen. I did it, but then it's that it don't take long to do it, Marni.
No.
It'd be like a 30-second skip, and you'd be like, "What the?"
It don't
fuck
take
did I
long
just
for
say?
women like you. Women like I'm gonna just be real.
Oh,
You have women who are 50 plus who feel like it's my way or the highway. I'm the mama. I'm
They're
always
like my
right.
mother, and I love her, but my mother is dealing with her own spiritual warfare right now with accountability.
Mhm.
You know, there's a life
Oh.
that she talked about that she wanted to live, that she physically manifested, that she's at the precipice of receiving. But then there's also this life that she was told and trained that she was not innate to have
Mm.
because she doesn't have a certain amount of things to have.
Mhm.
So she doesn't believe that she can rebuild her relationship with me. She don't believe that she can rebuild, whatever she wants. Because
I'm proof, Mom. You can.
And straight up.
You can.
Straight
I
up.
did that with my kids.
I'm her proof.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what's staring a lot of our people, divine feminine, in the elder communities dead in their face because they don't believe they have choices to change.
And I love listening to the elders talk and tell their stories. And the point of it is not for me necessarily to do what you did.
No.
It's for me to learn
how fucking strong you were.
And for me to navigate my decisions.
Right.
Is that
Based
this
off
like
of that.
a person would tell you, a crackhead would tell you don't do drugs, and a person to say, a person who isn't mature enough to understand it to say, well, how you gonna tell me not to do that and you a crackhead?
Yeah.
Do you think they want to be a crackhead?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Baby mama, I have to tell myself to have compassion for her every day. And she does some stuff. I have to give it to her. She does do some stuff. But I realized she did not ask to be in this position.
Who is this?
They call her baby
Yeah,
mama.
and they said she lived a really good life
she
before.
Did.
Yeah.
She made a choice and something changed. Something happened to her. And now this is her life. This is Matilda. Her name is Matilda.
Okay, I have an aunt.
Really?
Like
yeah. Matilda. Yeah. You learn some stuff working in the hood.
There's a Pensacola coming soon. Shit, what you mean? Like,
yeah. But I realized that like, she didn't ask it. Even though she out here just doing everything.
Yeah.
She had a life story before this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so she can tell anybody don't do drugs.
Do that shit, right?
You know, I hate because I saw drugs in my family, alcohol and drugs, and that's why even with me now, I am very, I don't drink like I used to because I never wanted to fall in that trap. I appreciate that. Appreciate that because you used to get fucked up. Yeah.
When I first met you, boy.
Yeah, I used to drink, boy.
When I met you, you were on the turn of I know that I can make this.
I do.
You really did.
Yeah, I did, and I thank God for that because even when I drink, like I have a drink like once every other week, and I still feel bad about it.
I only drank this because y'all had it out here, and I didn't want to look like
no. But the thing is, I had to be stuck.
But I don't ever since Ia gave me a reading, I really have stopped drinking.
That's what happened with me. And I went on a fast.
I was already like,
me too.
About drinking, and then she gave me a reading, and I was like, I don't feel like I need this. Yeah.
Oh no. No, when you really spiritual.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about the goddamn ghetto crew.
Because I feel like this opens me up more.
Oh yeah.
And
but listen, I get I pray when with that. You would think I'm a damn deacon at 6th Avenue. When it comes to prayer, and I have done readings for people. I had a dude that was a crip that I said something to one time. That nigga started crying.
That's right.
Because his grandmama started channeling me. You did. But I've been hearing that since I was a child. And then even now today, somebody called me, all right, Deacon Anderson, I said something to them, and I was like, man, everybody be calling me that. But since I was a child, I was told that was my calling. When I got into the culture of learning Orisha, I was told in the reading, like, you're supposed to be a priest. And so that is what I'm working for now, because I realized that when you get into the church, you feel like you have to live a certain type of way. You have to move. People in a lot. Over 50 of people, 50% of the people in the church ain't happy.
Yeah. And look what sis said. However, somehow Christianity shows us that we are servants or less than.
Exactly.
And that is true.
Exactly.
You don't need to wait on Jesus.
You don't have to wait on Jesus.
If you know what I know, you'll stop waiting on Jesus.
Yeah. Do you think Jesus gonna really come back here and pick y'all ass
If
up?
you believe in reincarnation,
What do you think? And Jesus was a reincarnate of many things. He's been here multiple times. You get what I'm saying? So the thing is, that's why I never argue with people who don't even know how to be real Christians. You think I'm finna fucking argue with you?
I used to want to.
I used to. Yeah, because you sound fucking stupid.
Okay, you want to keep that going?
But it's people like us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's people like us. We are here to be educators. We are here to teach.
And I'm not here to judge your Christianity. That is what you want. That is your walk. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That is what you want. You get to have that. Because I get to have what I want.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
get to have what I want.
Crystals and these waste beads and these rocks and these pots and these spirits.
Yeah.
And you know.
And you doing the same thing, or your
Absolutely.
pastor, your
They
minister.
are.
You know how many ministers come into my
Behind
shop,
the scenes.
my botanica, and get saved.
What?
Frankincense.
What? And even the
All kinds of
sage,
stuff.
this simple
I gave
stuff.
Florida
water.
I gave
The oil.
A pastor wanted a spell from me,
What?
and I was like,
how do I keep my congregation safe?
But you read the book of Psalms.
What?
You read the book of Psalms when you got the spell book in your hand.
all day long.
Let's be honest with you. The Christian church don't even fuck with songs like that. They
don't.
with 3 or 4 verses
They
out of
bored.
songs.
They
and
know
they
119, 23.
Let me tell you,
and
man,
100.
it's crazy when you
91.
talk about it. It will come to you. I was like, man, when my grandma passed away, my grandma helped raise me, and I was told you should get a picture and put a Bible verse that she liked on it. I was like, damn, I know my grandma read the Bible, so I said, but I don't know what verse she liked like that. So I went and asked her daughter, my great aunt. I said, I want grandma Bible.
None of your business, Kenny. You can't come.
I said, I want grandma Bible. And she gave me one of my grandma's Bibles. And she said, I don't know why Psalms 35 was pulled out of here, but her other Bible, it was snatched out of there too. So I'm guessing that was mama's favorite. I didn't even have to ask.
There you go.
And when I read Psalms 35, it was by protection.
And you know why?
And I said, appreciate that, grandma, because even on the other side, you still working. You know what I'm saying?
And they work.
They work.
The divine feminine is also your ancestral lineage.
Ashe.
Because that is a disconnect with whatever the divine masculinity is, because y'all have too much ego.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you cannot go back in order to move and propel yourself forward, aka connect to the people who made you, that had the bloodline for you to be here.
Yes.
Boy.
I also sometimes feel like people use magic and spirituality as like a shortcut to do stuff.
Yes.
And I quite often I feel bad about asking my grandma for stuff. I know she wanna, you know what I'm saying,
Marni,
but I have to tell myself, do you really need to ask this? Do you need this, or is this something you can
my
do?
girlfriend this, you know Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Jamie. Okay, so Jamie will connect and trick with me because she's like, bitch, you went through all of this. Why you don't use them people? My thing is, energy. I should be innately connected with them.
Yeah.
So the only reason that I use them is for real big community-based shit.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But I already had that shit.
Yeah.
I just got this to be able to be official for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I should be able to not even have to throw a goddamn shell.
I don't want
to know what's coming.
Have to light a fucking candle every time.
I do feel bad when I have to go to my auntie and be like, shit fucked up right now.
And they be like,
we took long enough.
Hey, listen, as you know, when I first had, because you was there when I had my Misa.
Yes.
That's the first thing ancestor came and said, "But what y'all here for now?"
Right.
What y'all here for now? People and
go to your people,
Mm-hmm.
the people that you are descend from, especially when it comes to women.
Man,
do you not know that when you look at a woman, this for anybody, you are not only looking at her mother, but you're looking at her grandmother, her great grandmother, her great grandmother.
So you gonna disrespect all of them?
What? By going to somebody you don't know?
That just don't.
But that's just because even in the culture, that's just what it for especially when it came to Christianity. For one thing, Christianity is used wrong.
It's about
you go to a church and they say AME, African Methodist Episcopal, but y'all done took the fucking African out of it.
Ain't no African up in here.
a method? Like
those terms are fucking us, and that's why I said we gotta go
Labels
back to redefining these
to
terms.
define, and those are labels used to oppress people.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's used for oppression.
because if we all have the
Oppression or
same
includes no
intent,
oppression.
why do we have to be divided?
Right.
Why did this church got
Why
this
is there
name?
a church on every corner in Pensacola?
Everything, and why they ain't, and why the people still poor?
Why y'all like?
Why you late on your bills,
What
but you
happened to them
paying
during
tithes every
COVID?
month?
Like that's
No,
what my
no,
thing
we
is.
don't
What
talk
the
about
hell?
that.
Y'all was supposed to be the ones out there
We
living.
don't talk about that right now
It was good.
because you have spiritual people like me and Marni that are off, I guess what y'all call the beaten path,
Mhm.
that need buildings, that need homes, that need spiritual places that y'all have ordained that are on grounds that are
I
open
see.
for us to do work. But y'all not open because COVID done fucked y'all up. Y'all ain't get enough of that relief money, and people really don't want to go back to church because y'all really don't believe the faith that y'all say y'all have because COVID got y'all scared. Okay,
And people, and that's the thing. When it came time for faith, here we go.
here we go. Where y'all at?
This
Y'all
is why I
outside.
say that Christianity shit don't work.
6 to 8
Huh?
6 to 8 feet apart, sitting outside in y'all parking lot having church. And I get it. I'm glad that y'all even came that far. But now you go by a church on Sunday, there's nobody there.
What?
So what y'all doing with these buildings? We are struggling just to be able to find a place to practice.
What?
But y'all got a building.
thing
But y'all
even
got a
that-
building that y'all got PVP loan
Well, I know
money from
somebody
it.
who
You can't
might-
even come in.
We'll talk about this in a little bit. Somebody who might hit, who got a church building. But the thing is, if it's holy ground, that's what we need. We need the holy ground.
And
Because-
you need to understand that holy is universal. It's not just Christian.
It's not
what
just
the
you.
fuck you know.
If you believe that Christianity in the form that you was raised in is the only way to get to God, you do not know God.
Yeah. And you don't know yourself either.
God is
People teach you.
exactly. God showed you in the different cultures that He made, the different type of people that He allowed to be here.
That wasn't
So,
a-
do you think that only one religion is the only way to get to God? When even the Bible tells you that God is a God of many names. You know, one thing about Christians that really kill me is that some of them don't even know that God and Jesus are two different energies.
God, Jesus, Holy Spirit. Let's start with Holy
And
Spirit.
why ain't no woman in either one of the
Oh,
trio?
she's in there. You just
Yeah.
excluded her.
Yeah.
She's in there. You just
But
named her
y'all
something else.
yeah. It's God and her disciples, okay?
Yes.
God and her minions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
But
you know,
we as women, I mean as black
you
people.
said it right. You said it right. Come on.
It's the bamboo. Like
It's the revolution.
because I'm
Like I
reading
said,
I'm
it's
reading
so
Queen.
long.
And one thing I can say about Queen, because Queen will be on the show next week.
I say.
One thing I can say, she gave me a view of looking at pastors different on how real she come with it. You know what I'm saying? And I would tell
You
people
talking
that,
about T?
yeah.
They're going off right now.
Yeah.
We ain't
No,
mentioning your
ain't
name.
no church badge, baby. Ain't
We
no
not
church badge.
bashing. You ain't a part of that.
No, but the thing
part of
is, we're talking about the people who aren't like you.
Yes.
That's what that is. So don't take
So
offense,
let's
because
get it
we
right.
know how you get
Yeah.
down.
She over
We
there
know-
going off because
Yeah. We know how you get down, but we
Maybe
definitely have to continue to add the African in our spirituality, because let's be for real. Have you ever seen a white person catch the Holy Ghost? That is the most theatrical shit that you would probably ever see.
I've never.
I can't say that I've ever seen
That's
that.
because that all came from us. You go to church and you use oil. That's root word.
Mhm.
You do
use
baptism.
frankincense, You use myrrh. You
Yeah.
use lavender. You use
blood and the
baptism.
body.
The blood in the
communion.
body. Now that
It's-
part
they
I'm
give
still,
the
because that really
invocation,
the invocation.
the benediction,
Listen.
to invoke something.
Yeah, I was listening to
Come
Orisha
on
music today, and I was listening to a really deep elder in Orisha culture who does the oretes, which is the singing of
Mhm.
bringing the spirit down. Bruh, it sounded like praise and worship, and God, I want to tell you.
Listen.
Damn, it literally sounded like somebody getting on one knee.
That's how her bembe was though.
What was the word?
It's called an oretes.
So in
And that is what
Yomi,
I'm going to be.
There is the kirtan.
Okay.
They
Ah.
have kirtans where they sing
And they
join
bring
and
spirit down.
But see, that's the
down.
thing. We need to get back to doing the ring shouts. I don't know if you heard the
No,
ring
what's that?
shouts. So in the Gullah Geechee culture
Mhm.
and in Black culture, period, they
Why
even did it
y'all
in
be inviting
Louisiana.
me to stuff?
It's a
But see, the
singing
thing is,
song.
we don't have it here. People ain't really on that here.
I wanna go.
They doing spiritual shit, wearing the Lakers doing shit, but they ain't doing shit here. To be for real,
Now we need to go to
When
Blackwater.
Black people used to go,
down there.
oh yeah, let's do it, man. Black people, they will march in a circle and sing church songs and clap,
A stick
and
your
and a
feet.
stick in your
That's
feet. That's
it.
all you took, and people clap for
Because the
hours.
drum is essential beat
That's
to
beautiful.
what we do.
And then if you have something going on, you get in the middle of that circle and everybody's singing around you, praying for you.
So look, the drum is the essential thing to what we do. The heart chakra, that's where the ancestors live. It's the unstruck drum.
That's
That's why they connect.
Yeah.
I love all of it.
And even getting into the drum, when you get into African culture, the drum is the silhouette of a woman.
Absolutely. Come on now, that curve in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the silhouette. You beating on her.
Her mouth at the bottom.
Exactly.
Giving you the voice.
Yes.
Marni's
Yes.
daughter
Marni daughter baptism was going to be a ring
I
shot.
wanted to get my daughter baptized last year, and I wanted T to do it. I had Spirit Fest last year at the same time, and I was tired.
Mhm.
But that's something that
Ring shouts. Y'all should YouTube ring shouts.
Let's do it.
Ring shot. Oh no, that's what you need to make that energy come for real. The ring shot. That's how
And
you
I
call
wanna
the
be somewhere where
ancestors.
I can just, let go. Like here, they don't let
Bruce
go.
Beach.
But I'm saying they don't let.
They don't let
They
go.
watching what other people doing.
Yeah,
Watching
nah.
We need a private beach. We need some water. We need
Yeah.
something where women don't have to feel like they're being
We got to get back
police
to the old church of just tambourines in your feet.
Listen,
Yeah.
a lot
That's
of
it.
women are there because of Christianity, but they were dropped off.
Yes.
They were just like, okay, we're here, but we're gonna go around the corner. Okay, we'll be right back.
Move
They're like,
counterclockwise. Exactly. Like she said, you move counterclockwise.
Absolutely.
And the thing was, it was spiritual. They would do it for hours at a time.
Yeah.
We can do it for hours.
We could do it for hours. The thing is to get that energy out of you.
Yes.
If you hold on to something, we gonna get it because we all understand we
feel
singing
It
it.
also goes back to that thing I was saying earlier about kids, why kids stay up so late. Because even as us as adults, we're programmed with the screen time.
Yes.
Most of our time is spent, doing work on the phone. So we're not physically exerting no energy. So
Yes.
kids don't sweat no more. They don't go outside and play. So you wonder why they up 3 or 4 in the morning because they rest.
Or you wonder why they start doing this.
Or they start doing
moving
little
vision.
TikTok shit.
They're trying to get that energy
They're
out
just
of
trying to
them.
move
Yeah.
something. They know that they're supposed to be dancing and doing all of that, but we've over sexualized things.
Hmm.
We made dance purposeless or purposeful for the wrong thing. And so they're just like, okay, I guess I can just TikTok and make money. Like, no, you look like you're having a seizure. First
And
of all,
we don't
you
include
And
them.
they're having things like ecstatic dance around here.
Yeah.
And to me, in my head, I'm like, that seems very much so like something. Something based off of something.
Y'all need a
we
lock
used to
in,
do.
don't y'all? Y'all need an overnight
Yeah.
slumber party, don't y'all?
And I
So
realized-
y'all
Of just spiritual work for
socialize.
kids and let them
And
social.
get
Yeah.
together and see how other people
It's so
operate.
funny because today I text my sister early this morning. I was at work. It was about 6:00 in the morning. I said, I want you to get my nephew. And I don't care if you take him to church. I don't care if you let him come with me.
Right.
But I need him to know who God is on his level so he can think for himself.
Right.
From a lot of times, a lot of our parents and grandparents, they grew up in the Baptist church, they grew up in church. So it's certain things that you gave restrictions to.
Oh, yeah, you
know
gonna
what I'm saying?
carry on the
You-
altar.
Exactly.
Die.
But the thing is, yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Then when you die and you cross over and you be like, oh, this shit wasn't even what y'all told me about. You know what I'm saying? That will be blowing me. And I told my sister, I want my nephews to know God for themselves.
You got to. That's the only way you're gonna know.
Yeah, and we all have different connections with God. That's even when you look at a person,
And
you say,
you want your nephew to see himself as God.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That is what we
You ain't
want.
gotta go to another nigga to ask him for
No.
nothing.
And that's why I made the
am
post I
God.
posted earlier about the Bible tells you this stuff. Stand still and know that I'm God. Do you know that is a part of meditation?
Do you know that
That
he was-
I am a part because I am the
God.
creation of God,
was
so
in the
I am God.
beginning, I was there in the beginning. I'll be there at the end. The Alpha
I
and
was
Omega.
taking notes. What you mean?
Yeah.
Tell me if you want the recap.
Listen, and it's funny that you even said that when you get into feminism and how a lot of women can remember back then. A woman told me, and she's not even in the culture, nothing. Her mother was a pastor. She transitioned, and she said, "You know what? Since I've been talking to you, it's funny because for years I was telling my parents. I remember telling somebody that I wanted them to be my parents." And she said, "I remember my parents struggling to have another child." And I said, "I go." And I came along.
Yeah.
Did you do the research?
Told me that's the way you wrote it. You wrote it like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you go and look at the history of children,
Yeah.
I remember I had a conversation with my mom one time and I told her about some stuff. She said, "Boy, ain't no way you can remember that." Because I was pregnant with you at the time. I said, "Mama, I remember. I saw it. I know what car you was driving in and I knew XYZ."
I remember I started once my mom began to tell me the stories about her meeting my father and how I was created, because I'm a side baby, I'm a side chick baby. I was like, oh, I saw all of that shit. It became familiar. It was like, damn. So I saw y'all in the trailer. I saw y'all when y'all were. I actually was connected to the love that they had that created me.
Yeah.
Because you know, at the end of the day, my mother was married and she had a baby with someone who was outside of the marriage.
Right.
So obviously the love one, she had to go create that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like that's why I tell people, like, y'all traditional ideas of what you see as a relationship and how love and children are created, y'all gotta kill that shit.
Yes.
Like there is no static view of marriage. There is no continuous line of linearness of a relationship. It's got up and downs. It's got some really, really low valleys and some really high peaks. But it also allows for us to be able to see the totality of how the shit works.
Yes.
And just accept it, because the grass is not greener on the other side.
It's not. And one thing I can say about what now, he just made a good comment now. God says, I am. He will show up in the form you need him in. So it is good you want him to experience the Most High for yourself. That is true. He will meet you where you at.
He's only agreeing with you because you a man.
Oh,
and
God.
you said that.
Because at the end of the day, the divine feminine already accepts that. We already accept that we are the most highest form of God.
I see.
When you are in touch with that.
And your brain, literally, there's 100,000 miles of nerves and nerve endings in your brain. And your brain right now holds everything, all memory. From all memory, everything. From the beginning to the end. So
and how much are we only using?
We only
like
use what?
10%?
Yeah.
So that was that movie, Lucy.
Yes, I love Lucy.
I love Lucy. I can watch
What's that about?
Oh, watch Lucy.
Everybody needs to watch Lucy. It's about how the human body is the embodiment of consciousness, literally, and how computers and technology and everything. We are already that.
This is a matrix for real.
It's deeper than the matrix.
And we
and when she disappears at the end,
it becomes just like
it becomes everything. Yeah.
Here's me and all of your shit together.
Everything.
And that goes into definitely take you to your dreams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dreams. We're in a dream state right now.
Yeah.
This is a Sims world. Like we're all.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't.
That's why I love Sims.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's physically controlling us with a thing.
No.
But we have been programmed into this state, this dimension that we're in, and we're very much surviving in this Black Mirror Sims type.
Ask yourself though, why did you incarnate here?
That part.
Okay.
It was necessary to finish up.
That is true, because this is the thing, and this is one thing I learned about our culture. One thing I love about our culture is that there's an answer for every damn thing. And one thing I know, even when a baby isn't, one thing I found out was that when a baby doesn't cry when a baby is born, it's because they have a debt to pay. It's something, they're here for a reason. You agreed to come here to pay off something, to do something.
So I can't get to work.
I told my mom that, and because she's new to the culture, because she doesn't come around, but I introduced her for stuff. And so we talking. She said, "You know what's funny? You didn't cry when you came." And she said, "I got pissed off when the doctor slapped you on your ass," because I was like, "Boy, don't you slap my goddamn baby?"
It's quiet already.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's funny is, shout out to Queen. Queen hit me randomly one time and said, "You know, you older than your father."
You are. I was just going to tell you that. A soul is not based on age. It's not based on we all came. Your soul, your age is how many times you reincarnated.
Yes.
And so that's why you have those babies that come here and be like, "Oh my God, it's the old soul. This motherfucker been here before." Yes.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
And hopefully this the last stop. Goddamn.
This baby might be older than you.
Yeah.
Depending on how many times you reincarnated. Think about how many souls how many times you've come back into that's what ages you. That's what determines your experience as a deathless being.
Yes.
And y'all see the trend that's going on right now on Instagram. They're saying, "I'm 37, but my knees is 42, my back is 75, and my mind is 107.
Yeah.
I feel that. Like, different bodies of me have reincarnated. What's up, Baba?
Yes, Baba. And shout out to Baba. Baba, the one who taught me this.
If you don't cry when you come, you're egg bae. And so I was going to speak on this egg bae. That has a lot to do with kids, too, and just how you connect with your inner childlikeness. I relate egg bae with a lot of the stuff that comes up in my life when I be fumbling. Like, I be moving too fast.
Can you explain what egg bae is for the ones who don't know?
Egg bae is explained to me because I always leave it open for others to translate because I'm also new to the culture. Okay, egg bae to me is the heavenly ancestral realm of where you had a family before you got here.
Your heavenly family.
Absolutely. So you were already working, you were already in a realm in a spiritual place to where wherever you were sent to from whichever life it was, you were up there doing work. You had a family, you had kids, you had a community, all of them who depended on you or you were doing work for.
Mm-hmm.
When it was your time to come back here, because of course you chose to reincarnate for a reason to complete your work, Egbe had to agree and be able to give you permission to come back. You made a spiritual contract with them for why you were going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us, like you said, we all come with everything in our head. We already know we came back here, but it's the remembering, it's the touching, and the people that we choose as our parents, making sure that we get what we need, but we filter out the rest so that way we can get the mission. Egg Bay is those people that's gonna make sure while you're here, you remember what the fuck you came for.
Egg Bay, I like that.
And that's when you get into deja vu.
That's when you get into, oh shit, I can't find this. I'm missing this. Where's this? It's not popping up. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. That's Egg Bay. Because you've lost kilter. You've gone off center. And so you've gone too far. They're reminding you, okay, we're going to take this shit from you because you obviously don't remember that we gave it to you. This is why you came. You have all of these luxuries here on this realm because we need you to do a particular type of work. You're not doing it or you've lost focus.
You know what? It's funny that you said it because for a couple years ago, before I started the podcast, I went into and people didn't know this because I always use comedy as therapy. I went to a deep ass depression and I was still moving, but at home I was fucking out of it. Okay. And I had a conversation with my dad and he said, you know what, son? You're not going to be able to sleep until you do what the fuck God wants you to do.
Ooh.
I wasn't even mad after that because I knew it was time to wake up.
This is why I know I will not be here because I have self-actualized mind now.
Bye.
Who is it? Who is that?
That's that dude.
Mama say, Mama Sama Makusa, my brother.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I like what he says about the cosmic social structures because that's when we get into astrology and zodiacs and stuff. Because that's when I'm hearing you explain Igbe. Am I saying that right?
It's the spiritual science.
To me, it's also the people I have contracts with. You know, the people
that's
who
what it
agreed
is.
To we
spiritual contracts.
Exactly.
Okay, you gonna come, and then that's why, like, I know I have my daughters, my husband. I have spiritual contracts with these people. Absolutely. That's why they bring me back in line.
That is, and then that is when you get into even the Bible because all of this shit tie in together.
Everything
being promised 70+ years, but that is only if you living within your destiny.
Right.
Exactly. So. Like when my grandmother passed, my grandma was 94 and ready to clock the fuck out. Like no lie, she was tired.
Y'all follow lottery and they call it Grandma Holla, the old lady that
she's in the hospital now.
She said holistic, but she ain't a whole holistic.
Yeah, but you listen to her testimony. She real when she said, "Listen, I fulfilled my purpose.
Yeah,
I checked. My contracts are fulfilled. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home."
Yeah. Do you not? We be selfish because we don't realize that they have a whole life that is now gone. That they want to see. My grandma used to always say all the time, "I wonder what my sister doing in heaven. I wonder what my mama over there doing in heaven."
That's what she doing now. Going to see
exactly.
Yeah, but not even that. Like think about the opposite, the extra part of our dimension. We're about to be grandmothers. So I personally, like I've been saying this shit since my son was born. I'm excited to see his kids and be a grandma and chill in the bed with my grandkids and go and do shit. You know what I'm saying? Not to make up for anything that my mom didn't do or anything for my son, but because this is the continuity of my legacy, I need to insert this divine feminine into them so that way they have the balance. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm grateful that my children, like, I'm grateful that they have the choice now to have a child or not have a child.
Oh,
because I realized that's something that girls didn't get.
Or to choose their sexuality. Or to choose
their right. Whatever that choice for them, I think that's a freedom too. Because you're not gonna tell me that grandma and aunties and all them didn't. This is all they wanted. This is all that they were able to aspire to because this was what their life was.
Absolutely.
You know? Oh man, I want to point out a comment that he made. That's why I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Do this go around so I don't have to come back. Not now. His name is Nigel. Nigel one, naturally introducing God's eternal love one time. How you broke your damn name down like that, boy? That was good. But that is true. A lot of people think that even when you get into reincarnation, you have people who say, "I want to come back."
No,
Do you know that if you come back, that's because you did something wrong.
Right. You didn't learn the lesson.
You've already realized that
Exactly.
you didn't fulfill some part of your destiny.
Exactly.
When you pass on to
you
the
can't
other
come
side,
back, but why would you want to?
How would you want to
still
come
have
back?
time. Here's what I'm saying. You still have time. Every day is another opportunity to get the shit right.
Yes.
But you should also take some compassion off for yourself. Have some passion for yourself, that knowing if I don't get it right,
nigga,
I do have another
best.
chance.
Yeah,
I
can come back and get it together. I can stay
and I
learn
pray
what I need to learn.
that I get it right that time.
Yeah.
And like,
yes,
I say, Baba.
And the moon is in those mansions every night. 28 times. 28.
Thing is, we realize, man, you got to think. I had a cousin who she probably still on here who had an experience one day, and she was looking out a window, and she said when she looked out, she was just staring in meditation, smoking a little herb.
Portals. Let's start there.
Portals.
Windows
okay.
Portals, yeah.
And she was looking through her backyard, and all of a sudden she felt like she was she could see a tunnel, and it was different colors. And it looked like the sun had a face, and it looked like it got closer. She said, I couldn't believe I was staring at the sun. Mm-hmm. And she said the sun got closer and closer. As the sun got closer, she felt like she was in a tunnel, and she goes through the tunnel. So she said she snapped out of it because she like, hell no, but something tell her concentrate. Mm. So she concentrate back on the tunnel, and the face get closer and closer. Now the face is coming through the tree in her backyard, getting closer to her. And she goes into this area where it's nothing but a bunch of people from all different ethnicities standing there talking to each other. And then she walks through these people. Now she's awake when this happens. She walks through these people and she looking like, what the hell? And some people, they ignoring her because they talking, doing their own thing. And then there's some people looking at her like, what you doing here? And then it's this one lady, she said, that's dressed up in like a 1920 Great Gatsby type clothing. She's black, though. This woman was black. And she looking at her, she turned, she looked at like, and she's staring at her. She don't say nothing until she's standing the whole time. I said, cuz, you just went to the spirit world.
To the spirit world.
You seen your ancestors.
Right.
And she said they came from different ethnicities, and the clothing they had were from different time periods from hundreds of years ago.
It's all in her brain already.
Already in her brain already.
Listen, here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this because this is gonna be a whole other different episode. I know. Many of us are not having mental health issues. I hate that the mental health industry has I need counseling. I'm not gonna say most of y'all need Jesus because that's not what I'm trying to say either. But most people are really having a spiritual revolution. A spiritual awakening. Because we've been only conditioned in one particular realm of spiritual intuition, we don't know what it is. So we're only going back to the medical industry and saying, oh my God, I'm having a nervous breakdown. I must be bipolar, schizophrenic, multiple personality. Those are definitions they've already aligned for people like us that they can't identify why we talk to spirit in multiple realms in situations like that. Yeah. So it's not multiple personality. And some people it could be. But I also believe that we are being highly misdiagnosed in the mental health industry.
I think that they know and that this is the way they make money.
Absolutely.
Because technically, in order to, using your gifts well is the ability to balance your emotions and express them. And so when we don't have those abilities, or we're never taught, because that's where you're taught young, how to express your emotions, then this is where we get these issues, because you have these super heightened spiritual people that don't know how to, they've never learned how to release emotionally, and you need that balance.
Exactly.
That's why healers need healers.
That's
why healers need healers, because it's not until you get in a room with other people that are like you that you realize, damn, I ain't fucking crazy. Damn, these are all, and some of it seems taboo, some of it is once again, we're learning from each other. We don't know what these feelings, these tinglings and things are, because our grandparents knew it's innate information in our head, but we got to be able to put feeling to people and be able, you too, friend?
Yeah.
You too? How you been dealing? Like, you ain't been drinking, huh?
We got to stop asking people how you doing, and then you just automatically respond.
How you doing and listening.
I'm good. Yeah.
Instead of it just being a way of meeting somebody. Hey, how you doing? And you still walking.
Yeah.
You're not listening. How you doing? And actually listening to how they're doing. Because sometimes
that I'm okay, that you're fine.
Yes. Please stop. But that came from trauma growing up. We had to do that from trauma growing up.
That's why I left the church.
Yeah.
The untransparency. You're
Blessed
not
and
being
highly favored in the Lord.
transparent. Yeah. You blessed and highly favored, really?
But you broke.
I'm
You don't know
not
how you gonna get home
listening to that.
today. You don't know how you gonna eat.
Mm-mm.
One thing bro said, now I'm gonna say this because bro, he tapping in now. Sometime the heaven will select one divine feminine to carry the burden of the family and secretly or unknowingly made a spiritual contract to carry the burden of their clan. And that is true. And that's why sometimes babies are born to die.
You know what he does though, this gentleman? He does like the Bible does. You just put a little piece of truth in there,
Absolutely.
and then you have a little bit of subterfuge.
Right.
And
But
have a
you
little
know
bit
the
of
truth.
You have a little bit of truth, and then you have a little bit of fallacy.
Right.
This is how you oppress people in
Absolutely.
religion. So,
But
he's
like
right
I said,
on this one.
we gotta educate.
But he's right on this one, and his
Right.
attitude though of putting women down or telling us what our places are
Right.
when
It's
a woman
the problem.
birthed you, sit
Right.
your ass down.
Right. Because now we're right because we're speaking on the same tone.
Right now I'm right because
Exactly.
I'm with you, but I wasn't right before.
When I first started talking about
Miss
divine
me with that.
femininity, you weren't
Right.
with us.
Miss
Boy,
me with
fuck
that.
you. I'm sorry, fuck you.
Oh
That's
God.
funny.
You can miss me with that. Damn, I know.
It is.
I know.
But listen, it's all love because at the end of the day, we see where you are.
We
but
know
it has to
exactly
be a
where you
mutual
are.
Respect.
And if you pass me by and you needed help on the side of the street, I'm gonna help you. You
Exactly.
get what
You
I'm
don't
saying?
understand.
That's the part that you don't understand.
But that's
I'm
what
not
we
gonna
supposed to do.
judge you and be like, oh, you
But that's
know
what people don't do.
They
There's
don't.
people I know that will pass you by and see you on fire and won't even
yeah.
do something.
But I don't
They
have
gotta
to
be-
like you and your stuff that you're saying.
The thing
just
is, we
because
don't have to
it
like
is-
nobody.
No.
His stuff
That's
is
why-
dogmatic though.
No, I get you.
absolutely.
Yeah, his
But
stuff is
I'm
dogmatic.
with liking, we feel like we forced to, and that's what another thing how
do
we
feel like that,
recycle
don't we? Yeah.
energy. Because even when my mama making me feel like this, or my daddy making me feel like this, and your grandma gonna say, "Well, that's your daddy."
That's your daddy people in. That ain't
That's
your
your
daddy.
daddy.
Yeah. Well, that's your daddy. Or well, you know, you need to go talk to him because that's still your daddy. So excuse for how he made me feel.
That's right.
Exactly.
He's still your. I do not like this. That's still your family thing.
That's still your mom.
it's
Fuck
toxic.
her.
If it's toxic, it's toxic.
Like listen, let me tell you, I am the queen of it. This is probably why she won't never come on my show now. But I'm the queen of Mama, I love you, but fuck you. Like, and not in a disrespectful way, but you gave me what you gave up until a certain point. You know,
Mhm.
my mom is not right about everything. My mom has some blockages and everything like that, many of which I want her to work through. But at the end of the day, I can only lead a horse to the water if she ain't gonna drink. But let her ass be thirsty. Okay.
Yeah, and that's true though, and you're not wrong for that.
you gotta let life.
I
teach
do that.
People.
You gotta let
Yeah.
life teach you.
You gotta
And the
let
only
life
way
teach
you can
people.
do it is
Oh,
by
man.
living,
You said
not
something there, yeah.
surviving, not trying, but thriving.
Because we had to lose.
Unapologetic.
The thing is, when you do something wrong to somebody, they hold you accountable for it.
Mhm.
They should.
You have to hold people accountable for how
Yeah,
they treat
You
you too.
should.
Mhm.
You should.
And I have this exact issue with my daughter. I love my daughters, all of my children.
We know.
And one of them, we bumped heads like majorly, and it was based off decisions I made when she was younger.
Okay.
She has every right to be upset,
To feel
and
how she
angry, and to
feels.
feel how she feels, and I gotta take it
Absolutely.
because I did
My
that.
mama won't take it.
I did that, so I gotta drink my water. I gotta sit there and work on me and understand that if she
Okay.
walks away and decides she doesn't want to have a relationship
She
with mom,
has that right.
she has that right because
She
I was
gotta do her
toxic.
own- yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Yeah, Marni.
That's it, and I have
Her
to.
address.
Come
is
on,
70.
Marni.
And it don't feel good to me though. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
To know like
But then-
it don't feel good.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But it's truth.
But the thing is, though,
Mhm.
you learn from it.
I did.
And also, how fucked up would it be to know that it's the truth and not be a part of her life
Exactly.
because it hurts you so much
It
you can't
hurts
deal with
me.
it.
No.
But she's living in the truth that you gave
But I built
her,
the house. for her.
training herself to do
Mhm.
better.
Yeah.
And only because you feel bad, you ain't gonna be
I
involved
ain't
in
gonna
that.
be, no, I can't.
Ooh.
I can't. Not the divine feminine in me. Can't
No,
do
that ain't divine.
That ain't
feminine.
right.
Yeah.
Can't-
Shout out to Baba. He's Odu Badu. That's what a lot of us need to research what Erica Badu name means.
I should.
Yeah.
I say.
Erica Badu, you know, is a part of culture.
I was gonna say everybody
Oh.
knows she the mama.
I met her godmother.
Isis Francis.
Oh,
and
man.
Brandis and Houston, who's the revolutionary Oshun of Warrior Tunji, who is her yay. That's
Yes.
who-
Yeah, exactly.
Badu
And
said.
she is an influential figure in the Houston area, Dallas area,
Absolutely.
who, because it was unlawful for women to have braided hair
Listen, Isis did
and
that.
work. and she went to jail and everything, man. To meet her, you have to meet her because I met her. To meet her, man, the energy that she gives, man, that is one of the most realest women. Not only real, but her energy is just so soft when you meet her, man. Beautiful woman. And when I seen her when I went to Oyotunji, when I seen her when she walked into the village, I knew exactly who she was.
Right.
And everybody was like, who that is? But the energy that everybody, when she came, everybody was on her that knew who she was. Yeah. But everybody who we was with, they didn't know who she was. And I said, nigga, that's Erykah Badu, godmama. You know, like I'm going on by it because I know who she is because I follow her already. And then I see what she do because I know that she's really, and then even when you see her, you know that she's real and she stand on what she do. Right. Yeah. It's hard to find people in this culture that stand on what they do because they know they're doing it. It's hard to be that.
I have to. That has been like my.
But I am that.
I'm grateful for y'all because I get to see the demonstration of what it could be, what it should be. When I see y'all, I think it's beautiful. And I don't know many people except for y'all in there. But the ones that I, you know, like I just be honest. Like my baby father, he was in. And I just know, bruh,
you ain't doing this shit.
You ain't doing this shit right. I'm embarrassed. Right. Like I'm embarrassed. Right. I'm embarrassed for that culture because I'm not in it, and I know you tainting it. It reminds me of like religion when people be like, "Oh, they're not all bad." No, they're not. But it makes a very distasteful in the mouth,
and it makes it makes it hard.
Refreshing.
Yeah. One thing I can say when it comes to Iwa Pele, everybody talks about Iwa Pele, which is practicing good character, but that also is what are you putting into your fucking community?
Yes.
What are you doing beneficial to your community? A lot of people, because a lot of people ain't doing it.
I don't see it.
And I'm just speaking locally. A lot of people ain't doing it. Yeah. A lot of people not doing when Queens link.
Coming to share information.
Exactly. Even you're not fully a part of the culture, but you're doing stuff to provide resources to your community. And you do. Yeah, you do. You're doing stuff too, and you don't even know because you might not even know what Iwa Pele is, but at the same time, you practicing it.
This energy of community.
Yeah.
You asked me to come, I show up.
Exactly. And you show up with the positive intent and good intent that I'm here to improve my community. And to support my community. For a long time, we had to share the shit that was going on with our community. A lot of times, my aunt, who is a preacher, told me I had a conversation with her the other night. She's 75 years old, which blew me that she thought this way. She said that we need to start spending money in our own communities. Stop going to these Asian stores, spending your money in Asian stores, getting y'all hair when they run the hair industry now. We should be putting money into our own communities. That is the goal. Stop feeling bad for supporting Black businesses. Stop getting your ragged ass on Facebook every time you feel bad about somebody and trash them. When you take your stupid ass to McDonald's every week when they get your fries cold.
And the ice cream machine ain't never working.
What? I went to go get a smoothie today and my mango pineapple smoothie. Oh, we can't make smoothies right now. You know what I'm saying?
But I'll be back. Machine work.
For some fries and some smoothie. Why we can't do that with each other?
Fat Boys been closed out for so long. I'm going to patiently wait until they open because I need my husky tuna sandwich.
And shout out to Moses.
Yes,
shout out to Moses, man. Continue to pray for him. Continue to not only pray for him, but pray for his family because he don't take into consideration the things that the family go through with times like this. So shout out to Moses and the thing that he's done in our community as well.
And I want to say this too. Just for me, for myself, I am a clinical herbalist here. Y'all reach out to me. I don't be knowing what be going on all the time. But I feel like I can help. Yeah. I feel like I can help with a lot of things. I can help with either symptoms or whatever. There's so much, and people are afraid, I think, sometimes to reach out to me. I get a lot of us coming to me now, but you know how long it took me to get us there?
Right.
It took a while, but like I just want people to know I'm available to and I've been around for so long. I've been around.
Listen, I'm testified. Like I will send my clients to Marni before I do work.
Yes.
Because there's times that it just takes the alchemy that's already present and she's already here. Why not? Like, why are they going to Marni? I don't have time to figure out what kind of tea you need to make. Marni got thousands of fucking teas over there. Just go to her.
But I can make it and be like, you need spiritual word. I know who to send you to.
This is how the community community work.
That's what community is.
And we are so afraid of that because we have been taught that it's not enough for us.
That white man greed.
We are scarce. And baby, if you can literally get pregnant right now because nigga none of you don't have scarcity. You are full of birth. You are full of life, and you have the ability to create at any moment. So allow the big bang to be big bang.
Yes.
And let us do this community thing. But honestly, like even what I was gonna say is a lot of people come to E5 Europa for court cases and to get out of jail and all of that stuff. Please go to ER too. Go to this ER.
You see, I done called it here 12 times tonight.
Listen, because at the end of the day, like traditionally, it starts with the herbs. There's nothing that we can do in E5 in any of our tradition unless the herbs are a part of the work.
That's true.
Like I said, sometimes Marni just got some shit that's already made up, but she know that it's already done.
She don't realize she an ear yet.
And she already is.
Yeah.
Ordained minister.
You know, a lady told me one time that I didn't have to have a title to be a healer.
She don't even have to be initiated.
And
that's
I was
another
like,
thing about the culture.
I like
have
that.
to initiate. Y'all don't have to initiate. There's people like us that come through the realm to break up the oppression that was the year-long initiation process. That was the, you got to do all of these oppressive things. No, we don't have time. We are in a crisis. I initiated so I can pull Marni up, give her all the things I can to get for like maybe 30, 45 days. And if she needs me, I'm here. But that's big EI. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, why would it's a title?
Yeah.
Shout out to the hoe that told me I was doing this for titles.
And then getting into that, one thing that shout out to Olori Iyamonife. One thing she taught me that sometimes that people who aren't even in this culture have more ashe than the motherfuckers that's in this culture.
That's right. That's right. And that's why most of us who are called to be crowned, it takes us so long to be crowned because you have to work with the ashe that's already been bestowed on you before you get the crown. Okay? So it took me 6 years from the time I was told that I was supposed to be crowned to the time I got crowned to say, all right, I'm finna do this. Do you know how much they snatched my life from edges to money to boyfriends to opportunities before I said, okay, here's my date. And then it was like, all right, finally. She's chose something that is in alignment with this destiny of this healing that we want her to do. She's not just wavering all over the place, ignoring me. So that's why so many people don't need to be initiated. The initiation, honestly, is supposed to be a community-based love offering of a liftment. This whole $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and I'm putting it out there is bogus. Why are we still charging for the desperation that we need right now? The money will come back.
I say
the money has come back. I'm talking, the money has come back. It has. I have been blessed immeasurably. And the amount of free work that I've done has been the testament of why I do what I do. Half the shit I just started charging for, there's people charging $200 for readings. Okay? $150
and I know that for a
readings.
fact. $500 to get removed.
I think it's $500, and it's not just in this culture; it's in a lot of
yogi cultures.
I see I see the whitewash stuff that's going down, and I see them charging $500 for Akashic reading records.
Whoa!
They're charging $500.
Yes, I saw 6.
You mean you want me? I'm charging $500.
Who did you study with, girl? You're 31. It took at least 10, 20 years.
What he said?
Know this shit.
Baba said, "Money is the wife of Ifa."
And it is, but deception and greed is also just the pit of all evil.
Come on, Eve.
Okay, so yeah, we all deserve to be properly compensated for what it is that we.
Because it takes a lot of energy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I also be like, the fruit is there though. That's why I see when you say you're charging $500 for Akashic records, I'm still watching your fruit though. I'm still watching what you're doing.
How's your house?
How is your house?
Yeah.
How is your stuff?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And two, let me say this: when y'all get into African spirituality, for one thing, I always say this all the time: don't get wrapped up in no cliques. Let me tell you something. You might as well kill your ass back to church. Yeah, you might as well kill your ass back to church because there should be nothing cliquish about this because we are for the community.
The only thing
so you should be approachable.
Is that we wear all
so
white.
We gonna start your church. I'm
am.
coming to your church now.
I'm coming
I done
to-
been to your
but
misa.
see-
I done been.
I gotta wait for her to give my full set first.
I be ready to go to church. I be ready to go to.
But see, that's what I want mine to do. But see, I'm old school. I'm devotion. Get on your
I'm
knees.
ready now.
Hey, Charles.
When I was younger, hey
Charles.
Charles.
That me right there. That me.
And I'm gonna be right there with my doily on my head.
Yeah, listen. I believe in singing about the
Yes.
struggle.
I'm doing it right.
Old gospel music was about a struggle. They came from people who lived
I
in
love
the
it.
struggle. So when they sung them
Mhm.
songs, it's because they wanted something to happen and they believed it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or Riki, which is the hymns that we sing in Christian church.
I
It's
say.
Riki that we do in Yoruba. Riki ain't nothing but a deacon that's real player that done found out how to get you with them words. You know what I'm saying? Riki is Father God, I come to you.
Then the guy asthma.
Ah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's a vibration vibe.
Yeah, because you feel it.
I get goosebumps.
You feel it.
I
That's
can
the
feel
part of church I
myself in
love.
church. I love it.
Praise and worship is my shit.
Boy, I love
All the way up
devotion.
To the sermon.
Devotion, praise, and worship.
Once he start preaching, that's when I put my finger. I'm done.
I'm done.
I don't
Yes.
need you no more. This is the part
Yes.
where I done got all the fill up. I can go back home and do the rest of
And
me.
I have been to a church where they have done nothing but praise and worship, and the pastor was like, "I don't think I."
We don't need to
anything."
preach.
And he
We
left,
don't
and it was the best. I left
That's
there
right.
like,
I like that.
Or the thing
I like
is,
that.
now I think with a lot of churches is that y'all are one thing I can say I like about where I do go to educate myself from time to time
mhm,
was the fact that a lot of times when you go to church,
mhm.
it only talks about stuff, the Bible and the stuff that are pertaining to shit that happened years ago. What the fuck about what's going on right now? Teach me or preach to me about how can I get through what I'm going through right now in the
I saw you
time.
on Facebook.
It's
I
gonna
know
be
you know what's going on.
keep living. That's what.
What?
Keep living.
Keep living. That's what they tell you. Keep
Keep
living.
living.
Well, you
Keep
know one
living.
thing a pastor told me is that, you know what, G, it's so much I want to preach about in the church, but the church ain't ready. And I said, you are deceiving the church.
Exactly. You are deceiving. Tell them again.
Absolutely.
You are
deceiving the church.
deceiving the
And then
church.
a deacon in that church told me before then, shout out to Deacon Moy, I will put your name up out there. Deacon Moy told me, he said, I'm not a Christian, I'm Christ-like.
I say.
I like
The
that.
goal is to be Christ-like. When I was young, man, I didn't understand. I was about 13.
Mhm.
I didn't understand until I got older. I said, that is the goal, to be Christ-like.
Absolutely.
The thing is, when Christ, they made us feel like when Christ came into the flesh, he was without sin. That is a lie, because
No,
to
he
be in the
killed
flesh.
He killed a man. He killed a little
What?
boy.
And they said, he without sin cast the first stone. Did he throw a stone?
Not at all. Not at all.
So you ain't gonna tell me that Christ was without sin.
And if people would really look at the history of the Christian church, you would shut up talking about you're a Christian.
Come
and
on
just
now.
say you're
Lord.
Christ-like.
Come on now.
They have killed so many people in the
Period.
name of a Christ that they don't even really believe in.
Christ-like people are Christian people are the original world star.
What?
People. They'll sit around and watch you being stoned and be like, "Did you see this shit? Put this on my timeline." They
Yeah.
get no fuck.
But then that's when you get into the Protestant church.
Yeah.
When I was in the military, that's what I did. I went to the Protestant church, and the Protestant church came from people. Protestant means protest. They were protesting against
They
the
were
church.
bootstrappers.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We ain't finna do this bullshit.
Yeah.
Going to you motherfucking Catholic motherfuckers and having to get stoned for missing church on Sunday. That's how church was. I'm putting my own shoes, and we finna move over here to the Americas with the black people. Because we always been here. We finna move over here with the black people, and we finna learn. The thing is, our spirituality, black people, we've helped build this country. We the ones who built this country.
Okay, cousin.
Yeah, and what she said,
Pastor
it wasn't
Terrace,
sin,
it
Marni,
wasn't
because he
sin,
brought
Marni,
him
'cause
back
he
to
brought
life.
that. I don't believe in sin, so I was.
I believe in
referring to
choices.
Christianity,
I believe in that
right?
shoe.
That's
Open
it.
doors
I
and
believe in
closed doors.
choices.
And you know, head shoe is my
Yeah.
head, so it's easy. You get how you live.
Yeah.
Yo,
I don't even like when people say, "Well, how do you know if it's a bad decision or not?" If SU gave you the choices, it's not a bad decision. One just probably gonna take a little bit longer than the other, or it might be a different route than the other. But
And
it's
then
never bad.
you have to understand a person's mental state too.
Yeah.
What made you feel the way that you felt to react the way that you did?
Yeah.
Because some people, it might be right for them to react the way that they did. Yeah. I always tell people all the time, you can never do something to somebody and dictate how they react to the bullshit that you give to them.
I'm supposed to feel about what you did.
No. Exactly. And you're going to say, oh, you wrong. You took it too far. No.
You got to listen to me because
you can't tell me.
My experiences before this.
Exactly.
This triggered me to be able to respond and tell you, you got me fucked up.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And accept that.
Accept it.
That. Because you got to learn me. And if you love me, which is another term that we got completely fucked up right now. Because love is very conditional, right? Love.
It definitely.
Love is very, okay, if you do this.
Or if you don't do this.
Or if you're not this.
I can't fuck with you like that.
And outside of that, it's just, I don't know, tolerance. You know, we have allowed the English language to be our own Decepticon. And we don't really give it the full totality of what it could be.
Let me say Pastor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Pastor, Reverend.
I call her Queen, but I'm gonna just come. Yeah. I only brought up sin because y'all said the word, but Jesus was mad at the boy and cut his ear off.
Yeah, Jesus made a choice.
Let's not forget about Jesus coming into the temple and flipping the goddamn tables over.
He makes a choice. He cuts the man's ear off, and then Peter later on cuts somebody else's ear off. And Jesus is like, "No, right, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem." So Jesus do it. Peter
right, Jesus do it. It's cool, but Peter do it, and it's a problem. No, Peter, we don't act like that.
Yeah,
he learned from you.
Exactly. I am a follower of you.
Right. I got the Christ right
now. You're gonna tear this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Listen, but people don't think like that because the thing is with the church, they don't look. I understand that we kind of went off topic tonight.
It's okay.
We need a little bit. Sorry.
This the after show.
Y'all need to hear it from females. I think that's the thing.
They do
so much from the pulpit from men.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so women don't get the opportunity.
And they feel like you have to be ordained. But the thing is, a lot of y'all niggas been preachers because my dad a preacher, my granddad a preacher. That don't mean you was supposed to be one.
Period.
The thing is, when we are sent here, sometimes we are sent on different paths. And sometimes the path, one thing I learned all the time, and shout out to Corwin, is sometimes God will put you in a situation and to make you uncomfortable because that ain't where the fuck you supposed to be.
Listen, let me tell you something.
A lobster analogy.
Yeah.
I haven't, I accepted it is what it is, but I haven't coined the Harriet Tubman of my particular elect because I take everybody to their real freedom.
That's
exactly.
This culture, and you think you coming in it for something, nah, I'm gonna get you up out of this.
That's it.
Because when you think that you're supposed to be home, you think the people that love you and where you go get your spiritual fulfillment, I can already tell you this is not where you're supposed to be. So go here. So go here. Go north. Go south. Go wherever, but go where you belong and you need to go.
Exactly. And Spirit gonna tell you.
And so what I'm saying is that the work doesn't stop at the church. The work stops. It starts in every culture, every subsect that we go into.
I say.
Kemetic yoga down to E5. It's always some Decepticons in there that we're gonna have to deal and decipher through. But I'm always for, fuck the notion. Let's go for freedom.
Yeah. Oh, one thing Rose said. Rose said Jesus did say turn the other cheek. Yeah, turn the other cheek so I can kick that ass too. Look, the thing is this. I do not promote Look, I don't promote violence now. I don't, because I have been in situations that have led me to situations. But one thing about it, man, that's why I am at the platform that I am right now, because it was justifiable. And one thing about it, I ain't have to do no work. I always pray that God, you work out for me and you show that my hands are clean. But one thing about me, I ain't no nigga that you gonna play with. That's just me, because I'm respectable on all motherfucking counts. I respect women and I respect men. So I ain't gonna let nobody respect me. But at the same time, I ain't gonna always turn the other cheek. I'm gonna have to show you.
I think that was
what
inserted in the Bible, turn the other cheek. I think that's how you get people to be subservient and think that that's okay. You should think that that's okay. Somebody hit you, just look away, turn them. Where?
Yeah. And
if there's a time for everything, then you initiated this time.
Exactly.
The story kind of like prematurely stopped, because even in E5 with Shango has a double-edged sword. It's because it's not for the other people, it's for you.
Yeah.
So
Come on.
You lying on the other side of that sword, when that bitch swipe to hit your enemies that you aim to get, if you ain't right, it's gonna hit you too.
Come on.
So it's got two edges for that. So
and let's not forget about the story of Ochozi, his own mother. So the thing is, that's why I always say, man, I keep my hands clean.
Yeah.
And if I feel like I can't worship, or if I can't feel like I can't practice in a certain place the way I want to practice, because my intention is always pure.
Mhm.
I want people. I was a person that was. I ain't gonna say bred because my parents wasn't animals. But when my parents made me, even though they were young, it was intentional,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was with love.
Yeah.
And so I feel that even anything I do, even when I have sex, I make love.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? So
Y'all still fucking? Who's still fucking?
yeah, I make love.
Right.
So for me, I look at things totally different from the way a lot of
Absolutely.
people take it. And a lot of people will tell me, oh, well, you got to get with the times. No, the fuck I don't. The thing is this, I have to
That's
adjust,
one of the
but that don't mean I have to agree with what's going on.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't adjust, I will say this now, they'll leave your ass in a museum.
No excuses, just adjustments.
Exactly.
And time is not
Yeah,
even
but
there.
So you have to learn how to adapt. How do my way of thinking go to? And then the thing is, even when you think about that, man, we think about our grandmothers.
Mhm.
That goes into divine femininity. We don't really, and shout out to the grandfather that was here. But at the same time, your grandmother is who showed you love for real. When grandma go, the dynamic of the family fucking fall.
That's what my family going through right now. My
Yeah.
mama and her sister, they don't know how to even, in my opinion, they know how to function, but they don't know how to relate with one another anymore. Granny is gone
Yeah.
because that is. So we're meeting next week, which is great, but it took us a whole year and some change to get to this point. And that is something that I noticed. Like my mom was like, I don't know who to call. She every Saturday morning, 4 a.m., she calls to talk to grandma, to her mom.
Witching hours.
Right.
She knows to get up.
And my grandma's already there waiting to talk to her.
Yeah.
And so now grandma's gone and my mom doesn't have that ancestral practice to know, okay, mama, you can still talk to her. You know what I'm saying? You can still, and so it's been a little difficult for her because that was the glue that kind of held everybody together. Because after my mama called, then all 8 other children are calling afterwards. Right. And so grandma talks to everybody on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And then Mary comes every weekend.
You talking about me yet?
Right.
And that's what it showed with the woman.
Right. And that's
how influential the black woman is to the family.
Listen, there's one thing that I want to debunk the misconception about, and maybe you can tap in on this too. Healing doesn't take forever. Okay. Shout out to my Nifa Oshumoni favorite. She taught me that first of all, I use this as a breakup, but also use this as any type of healing and getting through. Go for it. She told me healing's supposed to take 10 days. She said, the part about healing is that we address what the pain is.
I think it could come in 10 days. I think
it's
possible.
Now, when I say the adjustment of what the healing work is. Yeah. Now, you're going to spend the rest of your life adjusting to the healing of, especially because as life comes to. But the process that we be avoiding. Yeah. I know I got to heal from this. And we prolong, we put it in a box, we push it back, all of that. That should take 10 days. Let's say 30. Let's say 21 because we like to break habits, right? So it takes less than a month to really heal and start the process of recovering, if not restoration, revitalization from said healing. Yeah. Why are we?
That's why Dr. CB could do it like he did.
Right.
Because you come over there for two weeks,
her.
and he gonna put you through the real spiritual and physical, and then you're like, oh my God, like the fuck.
That's all I had to go forth and live the rest of my life without any interruptions in conception, all of that. Yeah. So wow, what are the odds?
Yeah. Well, I also think that society is not set up today to be a healing place. Period.
No.
So,
to make money
right. Like absolutely. This is that's the difficulty. He is on the right path, but then you have. When you leave after that 10 days, are you able? That's why we do that 21 days. Can you make this healing action a habit and stick? Because there's a difference between healing and curing.
Absolutely.
Curing, you eradicate the illness or the disease, right? The problem is if you don't eradicate the causative, what caused that, then you're not cured. You still have, it's going to come back. Yeah. That's why people will get cancer again or you know what I'm saying? It comes back because we didn't eliminate the
sauce.
causative of the issue.
Get to the root.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's funny that y'all said it because I was just talking about saging. People, a lot of people talk about, you know, we get into the air now. People don't be knowing what the fuck they be doing. They just like
everybody wants sage.
They just sage. But you know, sage is only and then sage is only a temporary fix.
It is because it's really just bleach. You just
And when that smell gone, the energy come on back.
Yeah.
It come on back.
Now. Okay, we can come on back.
It come on back.
Yeah, frankincense and myrrh is always a great old school, like OG tactic. Take that shit right on it. It will.
Man, I've been hearing so much.
Frankincense and myrrh connect you to your higher self.
Absolutely.
They're the enlightened.
You know what else I heard is good? Y'all probably be grossed out by this.
What?
Pee. Your own urine.
You know you can drink your own urine now. If something, hey, if you
I don't watch Naked and Afraid, but I ain't that goddamn naked and afraid.
And even a strong.
Yeah, but putting your own urine in different places, marking your territory. That's why animals do.
Yeah, I use it for my house protection purposes, but
and that's that also the protection. There are people who are what we call animal preservationists, I guess, in a sense, or I'm not sure what. Well, they're concerned. They will go pee in the forest in different areas where they know that hunters will be at to keep the deer away.
So kind of like.
Yeah, it's like it's a signal to the they're animal activists.
I like
it's
that
a signal.
Oh wow.
Like kind of throw off the signal.
Yeah.
Man. Like so look, we've been on this bit for 2.5 hours. There's some good conversation.
That's called love making.
What? And we had over 10
minutes.
viewers, and that's just Facebook that we can see. Okay. We on Twitter right now and YouTube.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I appreciate everybody that checked in with us tonight. Y'all will definitely see our queens again. Man, I love them. One thing about me is I'm not new to them. They ain't new to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with Queen, I can go to Eado any goddamn time.
And let me tell y'all something about Jen, because we were talking about flowers and stuff. Like, I think that it needs to be time for you to get your flowers too, bro. Like, you represent a gentleman aspect of this culture that does not exist. And I've heard every type of, I've heard everybody say and try to speculate what they want to speculate about you. Yeah. But what they cannot replace is your respect, your demeanor, your aura, your character, and how you carry yourself. Right. So, like we was talking about when we went out to gallery night last year, I still rave about that because Jen opened doors for every single one. We was the only man amongst 8 women. Okay, first of all, it takes a real man to go out comfortably with 8 bosses. Regularly 8 bosses. We can open our own goddamn door, okay? But he treated us like we were the most sensitive creatures that he knew. Mm-hmm. And we don't get that from our community no more. Y'all look at us first and you see the exterior, but he treated us like, nah, these are my pocket full of diamonds. And it was nothing less than that.
I like your thirst for knowledge and your thirst for truth. I think that's refreshing. We don't see that a lot. We see people just want to jump into something and be like, I practice, I do this.
And I know.
And I know. I know. The ego, I don't feel like you operate from ego in your spirituality. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's something that people can learn from you, how to operate not in ego. From your spirit, and you've always been very gentle with me, and I love
your name, baby.
Gentle, but I've always felt like Jen'll fuck something up now. Like if we gonna go down, I'm not scared.
Don't check jail view. Don't check jail view.
That's what I'm saying. Like the protectiveness. Like we talk about this in culture, like how the Black Panther Party protects, the women, how in Nation of Islam, they protect the woman. Like we don't have that in Ifa. Like women go wherever they want, but we don't have the protection of the man. Jim would be like the Ogun security. Like I would hire him to go to places with me if I gotta speak because you will be intimidated by the presence, but you don't feel like you're gonna get popped off. You just know you're not gonna process.
Me personally, I feel I love, and everybody who knows me know this, and they can vouch for me. They can go and go, y'all already in the comments.
We know you.
I love Black women.
You not even said that. You had to make sure you knew.
I love Black women. I love the way they talk. I love the way they walk. I love the way they smell. I love Black women because I come from a Black woman.
Mhm.
I love black women because I feel like as a man, I don't care about I don't care how you view, I don't care about your religious preference, I don't care about your sexuality, but we are here to protect women. I always say that
Mhm.
men are the fence and the woman is the garden.
Mm.
And I feel like as men, that's where we should get to. So anytime I'm around women, that's what I'm there for. I'm there to protect you
Mhm.
because I know at the end of the day, any motherfucking woman that I hang with gonna protect me.
And that's how I feel. Like I feel like if I go out with Jit, like I go from city girls to Sade. And either way, as long as I'm within his space, ain't nobody gonna fuck with me.
Yeah.
I could go from each extreme to the next and I can be myself. And that's what we don't have as a collective.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that.
But the thing is, I think a lot of men, and even with men, even when coming with me, a lot of men are intimidated by my energy. A lot of men question my energy. And I'm cool with that. At first, I used to kind of feel like, damn, like they judging me or they feeling stuff. But one thing about me is that I know who I am now. And one thing about me, I always stand on the godlier side of things. Every night I pray, man. I pray that I ask God. I said, man, I said, God, please place more of me, put more of you in me.
That's it.
I pray that every night. God, please make me more godly. And one thing about it is I feel like as women, I understand because I come from a mother who was a single mother because my daddy was in the streets, then my daddy ended up going to prison. And I knew
your
that
daddy is still dealing with that today too.
Oh, I know. We
His
talk
guilt
about it.
behind that.
We talk about it. We talk about
And I'm trying to tell him, man,
he know
You
it.
did good.
You did good even from right.
My supervisor came to
That
me
was all right.
and she said, I opened up about a lot of stuff. Man, I got 6 mug shots out there.
You do?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know that.
Okay.
From fighting.
Wow.
Because I'm the type of nigga, I don't mess with nobody, you ain't gonna mess with me.
Right.
But at the same time,
step up.
I had to realize that I always get the shitty end of the stick because I wasn't supposed to be fighting nobody.
Yeah.
And then I had to realize too, because my dad like that too, that my father didn't know who his father was. Right. So how the hell could he know how to raise a child when he wasn't raised by a man? Right. So I had to forgive my daddy. Yeah. But a lot of people didn't. And so for him, I feel like, and I just recently told my daddy this. Good. I said, Daddy, you got to forgive yourself. And my great aunt told him that you got to forgive yourself. Thing of this is sometimes even when we transition, we get left behind and we get held back even through death is because we still hold on to shit that we held on to ourselves. Let that shit go. The thing is, it's about looking forward, not looking back. You can't change that shit no more. I love my father. And I think a lot of people, they hold on to stuff. A lot of children hold on to stuff. And we don't take into consideration that our parents are healing from shit they never told us about.
And they can only love us from the capacity that they learn.
Yeah, so I love my daddy, man. Me and my dad was together last night. And it's so much stuff. I be knowing how y'all aunties be hoes and y'all mamas. But
that was not divine feminine, okay?
Hey, but one thing about my daddy, we gonna talk about it. Me and my daddy, we gonna talk about it.
I love it. That's right, because we talk about y'all ass.
Yeah, and we know that.
Absolutely.
And we know that. But my thing is this, is that we respect each other. My daddy, I grew up from a family is that you always respect the woman. You always respect the woman. And like I said, I come from women. I look at the women in my family, and like me now, I'm big on ancestry, and I find out who my people come from. And now to know the story, like, damn, my great grandfather is in a fucking book.
For being that nigga.
Edmund Parker is in a fucking book. For being that nigga to the Klan. But I remember my great grandmother who just passed away telling me the story, but I didn't know the details of the story. To where even my grandfather, the nigga that she married, was from Camden, was from Lower Peachtree, Alabama. Then grew up in Court, Alabama. Then picked cotton in Camden, Alabama. He had to run away from the Klan. So to know that I come from these type of people, and to even me, I went and got the photo albums of my ancestors. And I seen my great grandfather in a picture. That nigga had on a hat with a suit with his leg posted up on the chair. Yeah. I said, that's where I get it from.
Yeah. You should see I have a picture of my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandmother's 14. My grandfather's like 17 at the time. They're at the fair. And at the carnival, back in the day, it was not okay for us to go.
Mhm.
My grandfather apparently he had his gun on him at the time. But he sit back, my grandma, he got like, bitch, come in for this. Bitch,
Yeah.
we at the carnival. And she looking
Yeah.
like, come on, like, how do I do this? But he like, lean in, this the gangster pole.
Yeah, that's what it
He
was.
was so confident. Like, there was an era of men back there that really didn't give a fuck.
They
And
did,
they
yeah.
didn't understand.
And
the
that's what we gotta get
oppression.
into it.
Yeah.
It was
That's
what-
actually divine femininity that had nothing to do with
it was.
Not at all.
It was because at the same time, men were trying to show women this is what you were.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In a way.
And that's what
In a
I'm
way.
at in a way.
In a way.
And that's what I'm on. Like, okay, you work this. I know. I don't care. And like I say this all the time, and everybody who knows me, I don't care about your sexuality or what. If you being gay,
Mhm.
you still need a woman.
Yeah.
You came from a woman.
You need a woman in your life some kind of way.
You need a woman in your life some type of way. But just point, I seen a woman make a post and said that she felt like her gay homeboys was the one who they defended her more than any man she ever had.
I gotta be honest, my gay friends
Are amazing.
they're like the best.
But the thing
I
is,
know
that's when you
what
get
it
into Baba. Me and Baba was talking about this one time and having a class on that about sexuality and spirituality. And then that's when we talk about when you get into reincarnation. You can be a woman in your last past life and you come over as a man over here on this past life. He said you got to tap into that spirituality system. But I know for me, I'm only speaking for me for right now, is that as a man, I just feel like I'm here to protect the black woman. And so any woman that's around me, you're gonna be protected.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was every man's purpose, whether he wanted
These
to.
niggas living for other niggas.
You said it, not me.
They living for this is what society think is cool.
They do. It's like
That's why I got into the street nigga comment
like
that I
we're living
made.
in the upside down.
Yeah.
How the stranger things,
That's
we
what
live
they
in the
think that's cool.
upside
And
down.
that is where you get the difference between a Aboriginal, an
Mhm.
indigenous,
Yes.
a Native American, and the difference between a nigga.
Yeah, I'm an Aboriginal.
That's right.
Indigenous as fuck.
Mhm.
I'm indigenous, Aboriginal as fuck. I'm not no nigga.
No,
Yeah.
Because
Some niggas.
that came the word nigga comes from ignorance. I know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
I know who my people. That's why I'm big on my ancestry. I know where the people I come from.
That's why I call white people niggas.
But they don't know.
Like, because at the end of the day, they really do. They really the niggas. Like, y'all really gave us a title. Y'all stole from us. Like, y'all didn't know nothing.
And y'all don't know shit. Y'all know where y'all come from. And y'all gonna tell us, well, go back to where you come from.
Don't do that.
Where the fuck you
I'm
from?
in Florida. That's where the fuck my people came from.
European descendant?
Have y'all seen that video with the indigenous American women and they're getting an interview? And
Oh, she's like, don't talk to me like that.
white woman.
I told
Like, if
you,
it
bitch.
wasn't for us, you would starve.
Oh, babe, I
I was
said that
dying laughing.
forever repost.
And then she
Okay?
called down the heavens. I was like,
No.
God, this lady finna die. I know. When the white man was like,
Y'all gotta show me
I'll
that.
ask her question.
Y'all gotta show me
And
that.
You gonna ask her same question?
See how y'all
You see
protect
how that
your
white
bitch?
man protects
Right.
you? She was like, no. She was going
Oh.
off.
But you gotta look
But
though.
she killed me when she was the chief.
Yes.
When she raised her little thing, and she was like, something like that. I was like, oh my God.
Y'all gotta send me that.
What's gonna happen? I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
Send it to me.
The
The thing is, even when you get into interracial dating, my great grandmother, one thing she never allowed was she never taught us hate. Never taught us
Yeah.
hate. But one thing she didn't allow, you don't bring one of the motherfuckers up here somebody y'all date.
Mm.
I had to think about it. My grandma told us a story of the Klan had hung a man on her street. And she said they didn't have lights, they had candles. And they blew all the candles out and hung. Her sisters crawled under the house because, of course, in Montgomery, Alabama, they had tornadoes. They built the houses up.
Yeah.
They crawled under the house to look under the house and could see them cut the man off the tree while the Klan stood on the hill. Even to this day, they call it the hill. I'm not from Birmingham, Alabama, so I didn't know. So I had to ask somebody who was from there that I met in the military. Hey, my grandma be talking this shit that talking about she from the hill. I don't know if it's Alzheimer's. I don't know what the fuck, dementia, what the fuck it is. He said, no, the hill is downtown. It's the hood, but that's downtown.
Yeah.
Then I realized it's the hood now.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But when she was young, that was the place to be for black people. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So my grandmother, she didn't do it so much. She never taught us hate. And I love her for that. I appreciate her transition. I'm happy about my grandmother's transition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even going to the house now, I don't, it ain't no lingering. Me and my, that's why I didn't come to class last night. I was pulling up carpet in that room and it didn't even feel eerie to us.
Right.
Mhm.
Feel like you
But
was
my
on
dad,
work.
though, because
He
he
said
was
that
raised by
every
my
time
dad,
he's
he
going.
said,
He
it
said
feel like
feels
we
so
cleaning up
weird.
everything up in
Yeah.
here. I said, not for me. My grandma ain't in this motherfucker no more.
Right.
Because
Y'all
you know
gotta
how to
let it
elevate
go.
What?
You know how to let her
I
go.
didn't even have to.
I tell people too, you know, the longer you grieve, the longer you don't allow them to move on to their place. Because every time you get,
Absolutely.
my baby father was killed, and his family every year they
Does
want to
this
go
gold drop and
do
shit
drop
like that.
and all this stuff.
That's
And
enough.
I told him I can't keep going to this. One,
No.
because I want him to move on.
Yes.
I want
Y'all
him
keep
to
bringing
stop
him back here every
unpacking
year.
To the
his
same
bags. 'Cause
incidental
every time
spot.
his birthday comes, and that's another thing. Every time his birthday will come, he coming to see me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh
His
wow.
kids. And so it was good, but it was irritating because
Yeah.
I know he would like to totally move on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they just grieve and grieve and grieve.
The thing is, with that is one
And
thing
I
about me.
understand it takes a long people, but we have to learn how to get
It
rid of that
takes 10
attachment.
Why do Jewish
Yes.
do Shiva?
Right,
Mm.
10
Sit
days,
down.
you can't go nowhere. Gotta sit there.
Y'all bear all your hatches in this motherfucker.
Get right
cuss it
now.
out, fight whatever. But when
You
we
have
in
to
this motherfucker, the
sit
body and the spirit
in
have separated.
chairs.
That's
They gone.
separated.
For 10 days
Yes.
together
With
as
your
a
family. That
and
y'all probably
discuss.
seen in 20, 25
Right.
years. That's
Right.
the smartest shit that I've ever
Ever
seen.
seen.
Yes. It's
Then when we leave here, it's done.
It's
done.
done.
Yeah.
It's
Bring
done.
this shit up at the family reunion. I'm whooping all y'all.
Yeah. And that's why, as the black family, we have to get into having days of healing. One thing
Yes.
my dad and one of his friends thought
You
who
need
they
to start
have
it,
is the
man.
days of healing.
With the
I don't want
ring-
to.
With the ring
Because niggas don't
shout.
listen
Yeah.
to us.
The thing is, you got to have the ring shout. The thing is, people don't know how spiritual the ring shout is.
Well, let's
The
do it.
same gospel music and then
Mhm.
walk around in a circle. And the thing is, I'm not even tapped into what you think about me. I'm trying to release this because gospel music is therapeutic. We seen that in the Misa.
Mhm.
Because your people came to you by listening to trap
Man,
music.
I was like-
I can't even listen to it. They know better.
I don't listen to trap music. You know I'm old school. I'm ready to pat my
In the
foot.
car, I be still doing it.
You be whipping
However,
all
However,
this.
I know when I'm in a dwelling and things like that, or even at the beginning of my day, I just go ahead and do that for them.
Yeah.
You know, because they can, it's what you need. All right. And then I'll be like, now I'm going to get what I need.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though
That's balance.
it's moments where I'll be playing, oh my God, I'll be playing Walk With Me, Lord. Oh my God. And I just
Start crying.
release. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
Yeah, I'm old
There's
school.
something edifying.
Yeah.
In
I'm
that.
old school
Yeah.
and I'm on 31.
I'm old school.
I'm listening to Reverend James Cleveland.
Mhm.
I'm listening to devotion
Dottie.
song. Yeah, that people
Tyrone Davis,
because
right,
I want to be
right,
able to
right.
pull that up out of you. Because
It's the emotion that comes.
exactly
from it.
pull that emotion up out of you. So my one thing I want to encourage y'all tonight, man, tap into your ancestral lineage. Find out where the fuck you come from.
Woman. Here's the thing.
Come on,
Here's
come
the
on,
thing.
Ia.
Find a woman.
Go ahead, Ia.
Especially-
I'm finna
especially
go around the corner to the bathroom. Ia, tell them.
Especially when it comes down to like, there's an element of trust that we just don't have in the community. I think we can agree with that.
Yeah.
Women, men, woman, whatever.
I don't think it's our fault.
No, it's
Per
not.
se.
But if we're talking about a wheelhouse of where we're gonna stop the cycle,
Yeah, well, we got to stop now.
we gotta
Yeah.
stop now.
Mhm.
Okay. So men, women, whoever, find a woman of who you can trust.
Mhm.
I hear so many times that, and I know you hear it too. I'm intimidated by you. It took me so long to come to you because I was scared. I didn't.
And I
and
don't
I'd
be
be
wondering
like,
where that
for
come
what?
from. Yeah, I
What?
be wondering.
Like at this point, like.
I be confused. I be like, well.
But in that, we understand that it's our life.
I also see too that people have been hurt by other people, and it's intimidating to know who you can trust because
Absolutely.
there's certain, like, I know when I'm doing Reiki, I do messages come up like personal things, and so it's hard for me to allow someone else to do that on me.
Of course.
Because you're being
'Cause now you gonna see
vulnerable
me.
with that person,
Right.
you know, and I'm giving you information that I might not even have
I don't even know.
processed myself.
Right.
And so I do agree with that. They a lot of times be like, I just wasn't sure. I wanted to come here. I've been
Right.
following you. That's why I said earlier, just come on. And what you
Yeah.
see is what you get out of
Absolutely.
me.
If you're looking for a particular image, if you're looking for my face to be beat, for me to have my
Not
designer,
happening.
to look like a palatial office where everything is trimmed and put into place. It's not. I got beads everywhere. I got a sun. There's herbs from the kitchen to the front door. The shoes everywhere because we don't wear them in my house.
Yeah.
It's a little messy as far as for what you guys put on Facebook.
My tea house is like that. You
Listen.
come in and they'd be like, it's shit everywhere.
But the healing is real.
Is there.
But the opportunity for peace is present.
Yeah.
And so it's really just come on.
Yeah, just come on.
Men, y'all, whether you want to connect with more men or connect into your divine feminine, either or is available. But you do have to trust women, especially if you are dealing with issues of motherhood, having been neglected or deflected from your mom, looking for some connection to the divine feminine because you lost her later on in life. You still need to be replenished in that area. And so come on. That's all we're saying. It's really gentle in these spots.
Yeah, because I believe there's gonna come a time where, you know, well, y'all know I'm into astrology, so it's gonna come a time where like this is gonna be your only choice. It's gonna be your choice. Like it's not just gonna be your only choice, but like this is your lifeline here, your salvation. This is gonna be your SOS, that thing that we're throwing out. You're gonna need it because it's not. If y'all ain't noticed, we not. To get better, we're actually going down a spiral, if that makes sense. Like, we know that the new world is coming and things are going to get better in this new earth. However, we have to go through, you got to go through it. And
all we're saying is that the doors of the church are open.
The doors of the church are open.
What do I chills?
I want to know what we're going to do our healing circle now.
Look, we're going to plan. We're going to plan. I really, y'all don't understand how much I've been waiting on this because I'm old school, and then people my age, they don't be engaged.
Out there like that who want to be engaged.
I want to do it. I want to go back to the old school way. With number of feet, your hands, and tambourines. What?
All of that you're doing, it takes the divine feminine.
It does.
Come on.
Be there by yourself.
I told you, Jesus.
Come on. It always going to take women because women are more spiritual than men.
Absolutely.
And we know how to. Women are influencers.
Yeah, and us men, we are survivalists now because of the economy that was dealt to us. The thing is, with a lot of times too, when it comes to men, we don't get the credit that we deserve. But at the we don't because sometimes we had to become survivalists.
Absolutely.
I think the intent of how men became the way they are now was not the wrong intent, but it was because men didn't understand it. Everybody didn't understand the movement, but it was because we knew that our people, our family, our bloodlines have to survive. So we got to do what we got to do. Like I said, man, when I seen my motherfucking great granddaddy in a book showing that people was trying to take him to a bridge to kill him, and he survived, and then he tried to change his name, which didn't mean nothing. The nigga changed his name to only to Ed instead of Ed, man. You know what I'm saying? And to know he lived to be 80 plus years old, even though he had married on and had more kids, he didn't get caught.
And we have to do this healing for the ones that didn't make it, like her granddaddy. We have Leander, who was murdered,
and let's get, and I need
quarter and hung, and that
in downtown Pensacola.
Yes, he needs to be.
I need y'all to go look at the story of Lily. Yes.
Push these people out of Pace, push these people out of Jade. You know what I'm saying? Took these all of downtown didn't look like this.
It did. Let's
be our property.
Even when, like Eos just said, because your ass is an Eo. Y'all need to go look at the story of Lily and Leander, which is her family is named after Davis Highway. There is a documentary that her great niece made showing what happened
on accident.
And the uncle, one of the only uncles that was living, to show that they buried black people from Pensacola all the way to Jay, Florida, on dirt roads. They are still bodies that people have not picked up.
The black people used to walk that street where his family owned the property up to the mill they had to work. I believe it was some kind of factory. And it was a long walk. And one uncle would call on the phone and be like, we got one coming down, walking by yourself, coming down. And then they would catch him. And they would do whatever they wanted with him. And the little boy, he was a little boy at the time. I think he was like 90 when she was doing the video. Yeah.
He was old.
He accidentally mentioned that his uncle and his dad and them used to do that.
And then
UWF, the state attorney opened a case to look into it, and UWF was charged with the duty to come out, and they found a graveyard, what they considered to be a graveyard. What happened was, though, money ran out. We can't. This might be an Indian burial. We can't do that.
Oh no, money it went into a different type of pocket.
Yes.
That's what it was.
And you would have to admit that all these people were murdered.
Right, exactly.
Right, and
just like the Indian folks did to give them back their money. Y'all ain't ready to do that shit.
Baba Cajun, make sure you hit me up, Baba Cajun, because I want to do that. And like you were saying, his family, and that's when you get into the cemetery that is behind the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah. Oh, we ain't gonna talk about that shit. That shit freaked me the fuck out. I wonder why I could never go to that goddamn building.
But that ain't the only one.
Or just going down 12th Avenue, underneath the hanging trees.
Oh.
Can we
used to be a plantation, but hold on, wait here. Not only that, the Graffiti Bridge is a park that sit right by there. That is a burial ground for Black people. Do you not know? But even to this day, when you look at the Black cemeteries, we don't take care of our cemeteries. Why aren't we praising our ancestors? But y'all can take y'all ass and celebrate Saint Nick on Christmas.
The hell?
But ain't nobody going to a cemetery.
But ain't nobody going to the Black cemeteries. Look, that's a whole nother episode.
Right here in Pensacola.
What? Do you not know that Pensacola was the first settlement? Fuck St. Augustine.
Go down to the old courthouse and look at that mural up there. It's a Black woman sitting in a throne.
Come on.
With a cornucopia.
Come on. Pensacola, Florida was the Black known settlement in America when it comes to different people. Black people was already here. One thing about it, they say founding, it wasn't founded. How can you find some shit that everybody was already at? Black people was already here, but when it comes to foreign Black people from the Caribbean, like I said, when I went to Corbin is from Key West, and it's a Key West island called they pronounce it Cujo. We pronounce it Cujo, where we from. So a lot of those people come from the Caribbean, but we all of African descent. Because we from America, a lot of times we lack the education on who we are. So we think, oh, I wish I'm from here. No, nigga, you just as exotic as them. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm American.
I got a homeboy right now. This is horrible what he do, but he goes to the beach and he goes to the hotels and he swims in the pools. He don't have now room up there.
I
said, why do you do that? He was like, this is my land.
That's right.
I used to drink the whole motherfucking pool for my Black ass again.
Yes.
I want you to drain this bitch now.
That's right, Baba. The purpose of Ed Gungun, shout out to New Orleans, man. I went to the Ed Gungun Festival. Shout out to Sonny Patterson. Sonny Patterson. I went to the Ed Gungun Festival that Algiers have last year. Man, the energy and the way how they walk through their neighborhoods and let me tell you, we went to a park. We don't do that. The white kids were screaming when they saw the ancestor dressed up. They started screaming and running. He said, I don't give a fuck. This our land.
So why don't we have our own?
Because they niggas scared.
Well, we can do it. We don't have to be scared.
We don't got to be scared.
Because I just want to be able to participate.
That's it. I got to go.
I just want to be involved in that spiritual.
My goal was to open up my my spiritual house at the end of August.
Woo!
She already opened it though.
But it's been open.
Because I'm there.
But there's a lot of people that already have at Google and things going on. The time is going to be right, but it's coming. I believe it's going to happen more so mid to late October. Because I would like to have it more so around the Day of the Dead. You know what I'm saying? Just to be a congruency.
I love the Day of the Dead.
And
the veil is the thinnest.
Absolutely. You get straight to the point.
Halloween was not designated to scare you. Halloween was designated to elevate the dead. And to talk about our ancestors that came before. But a lot of times, though, when it comes to Black people, we think that we shouldn't talk about stuff like that. But white people talk about it all the time.
All day long.
They talk about President's Day. They talk about Columbus Day. Do you not know what that is?
Remembering these massacres.
Even when it comes to 9/11. Yeah. They want you to remember 9/11.
It's called an altar.
Come on, man. I watched the episode of Sesame Street and Elmo was talking about a fucking ancestor shrine.
Sesame Street always been woke though. Like since they was doing back in the day now, they always been
because Big Bird was a drag queen.
Big Bird was a drag queen. Kermit, we already know what his and Bert and Ernie.
What fucking bird was Big Bird though?
I don't know. kind of look like a chicken and a duck.
A chicken duck.
Chicken duck.
Chicken duck.
Y'all blowing me right now. I wasn't ready for that.
Look, we ain't gonna get into deep in this because I want to have a conversation with the queens when we get up here. So I love y'all. Make sure y'all check us tonight. Shout out to Queen, to Terry. Look, baby, you know Queen, I love you, and we gonna talk about Willie
Yes,
Jr.
Willie
I hit up
Jr.
somebody about Willie Jr. I'm gonna put this on my shit because it's my shit. About Willie Jr. and making it publicized, because one thing about me, I ain't scared of nothing. And one thing about me and my
Hey, y'all
daddy
try to
always
roll him up in that carpet and keep him under that.
and make it seem like he killed, make it seem like he killed himself. But then that goes on his family too, who didn't even fucking speak up because you niggas be. I ain't gonna get into that.
You said what you said.
I ain't gonna get into that. But shout out to Willie Jr. and may your energy always be elevated. And if nobody ain't elevated Willie Jr., we gonna do it. But shout out to Queen, man. Shout out to Queen. We had our little moment, but I love you, Queen. And I can't wait to see you next week because we're going to talk about African spirituality. Come on, man, because we're going to talk about Christianity and African spirituality and how they all intertwine.
Yes.
So I love y'all, man. Make sure y'all always, shout out to Moti.
Look at the babies coming through. Shout out to Leanna. Shout out to Miss Erica.
Moti, you want to have some more kids?
The chief. Whoa. I feel like you just cussed at her.
I did.
He's sorry, Moti.
All right. She got their white people emojis up though. I love Moti. Moti, no, I love Moti. I love Moti though. I love you, baby.
Beautiful. I don't ever mean to pressure you, but goddamn, once a week kind of isn't enough.
I ain't got enough energy for it.
I know. I ain't pressuring you, but I'm just praying the prayer you bears that.
But you record all of these, right?
I do.
Yeah,
So you can upload.
Y'all gonna see them. Y'all gonna see them. Yeah, y'all gonna see them. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for checking on me. Y'all don't understand. Y'all think I just asked y'all to be here, but y'all really helped me.
I enjoy you.
Yeah. Because I love y'all for real, and I really look up to y'all. And as a man, let me tell you this: it's okay to say you look up to a woman.
Look at Elada. Hey, Elada.
That my girl right there too, Elada. Texas. Like, I shout out to everybody. Shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to put out there real quick?
You go ahead.
When Queens link up August 27th at the Pensacola Improv Event Center, we are growing, we're expanding, we have all kinds of wonderful things going on.
And we'll continue.
Spirit Be Knowing classes every Wednesday. We're taking a break for the next 2 weeks because we are testing. However, we will pick back up probably the week of August 17th to get back into our Orisha one-on-one classes.
I see.
Which will be very powerful, especially for those that are local to the area. Outside of that, Waste Me Not is open. Outside of that, the doors of the church are open.
I see.
Outside of that, fuck bitches get money. That's it. I see. What about you?
The other eel.
August 13th, I'm doing the Empowered Womb. So I want to encourage you to come out.
Hey.
In the midst of Roe versus Wade, I've learned, just in order for me not to operate in fear, it's about empowering myself. And a lot of times it's just the fear of the unknown. So I have a lot of herbal education that I want to share with you being able to take over your creative womb. And then August 27th, I also have a one-day wellness retreat, but it's in the day. So you can come in the morning and then we can ride on out to when Queens link up. And then I'm done for August with that. And then October 14th, 15th, 16th, I'm going to do my biannual, we do a retreat twice a year.
Yes.
And so this will be our fall retreat where people come out and we put people in the woods.
Can I be a part of that?
So Spirit Fest is coming back. It won't come back though until I have my land.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm going to do all of those things on my property. Absolutely. Yeah, and I want to open it up to people to come out.
I see.
So that's my project that I'm working on, buying my farm.
So
that I can be my free. We have that, let us go to it's called Petra. So and I got that from the Bible.
Yes, you did.
Come on now.
Listen, I was first of all, your post that you made that day was so motherfucking gangster because you slid on some like, this is what we doing. I'm gonna drop these verses. Y'all can go look this shit up and then just know that we moving. I went and researched some of the stuff that she was talking about. I was like, this bitch know what the fuck she doing.
Yes.
You know me call you bitch.
I know.
You know it's
I know
all
what
love.
you mean.
I was just like, she don't put me on the game. Like, I really went down the Petro Road and I was like, dang, I didn't even know this part. And Marni, you know.
Yeah. And I didn't know about Petra. Well, I knew about Petra in the sense of it was something that was calling me.
Absolutely.
And that was years ago. And then it was refreshed in my memory as COVID reminded me, this is where you're aligned to right here, because we do need a safe space. One, I need to feel safe. Two, I want people to have a place where they can come and feel safe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look, man, I appreciate all y'all. When she comes to us, a lot of times we think about how much we can get from a situation, and we think about our homes. We think about, I would need this 5-bedroom house with all this, that. Me, I need a 3-bedroom house. I need a room for every room. I'm gonna utilize it.
Absolutely.
I don't want nothing big because I ain't showing out for you niggas. Because when I go home, and I ain't clean all this shit. And I want something sacred, and I want something comfortable for my people. But I also want a lot of space because I'm a cookout type of dude.
Absolutely.
I like to have cookouts and kickbacks. Yeah. And when we come here, we get drunk, and you can stay at my house because I'm gonna make sure you safe, and my people gonna make sure you safe at my house and it's comfortable. That's what I want for myself. And we got to get back into that, man. We got to get back to as the Black family. We got to get back into family reunions. Yes. We got to get back into cookouts, family reunions.
We've been scared.
We've been scared. Don't be scared.
That's how you know that Christianity got us all.
Oh, yeah. They took out the African and the AME.
Y'all scared because of COVID?
What?
We just survived monkeypox, AIDS, goddamn swine flu, all this shit.
And to speak on what Io was saying about AIDS, stop letting these motherfuckers think that because AIDS is not a black disease.
It's not.
AIDS is not a homosexual disease.
It's not.
AIDS is a cracker disease. And I'm gonna say that shit on my motherfucking shit right now. That shit is not no motherfucking black disease. Okay? White people made that shit to control the culture. Even when you get into Gandhi was prejudiced against black people. Gandhi didn't like black people. Even Martin Luther King looked up to Gandhi, and that nigga didn't even know what the fuck he was looking up to. So make sure you do your research, okay? Make sure as black men, we continue to protect our women. You ain't got to sleep with her to protect her.
No, you
That's
don't.
not protecting her.
That's not protecting
Stop
her.
getting into a research culture so you can know how to do spells to protect and to sleep with these women.
So you can learn how to get out of jail.
And I'm saying that to all you niggas.
Yes.
Stop doing that shit, because one thing about it, a man who is sexually disciplined, that's when you make yourself a man.
Oh my goodness.
And all of you women who get into racial culture and think that the gateway to your sensuality is Oshun, stop that.
Yeah, stop thinking Oshun this. I'm Oshun that. They don't be Oshun for real.
They want to be, oh yeah.
Them hoes be cockroaches.
On that note, we got a few messages from my sponsors. Because goddamn.
Hey, no, for real, man. I love this show tonight, man. We had a good time tonight. This shit this is the longest show I've ever had. And I done went over 2 hours before. This is the longest show I've ever had. Ever. But because it was all love in the building, man. It was all love in the building, man. We love y'all for real, because the one thing about each and every person that's up in here, we doing stuff for our communities. Yeah. It ain't no shit to just wear a lakey. It ain't no shit to say we work with herbs. Make sure too, I just want to shout out to make sure y'all research. I don't know if y'all know about Mother Catherine Moore. She was she owned a spiritual church in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, yes.
The shit that we do is the shit that she did. Mm-hmm. That's why I know that you can add Christianity and African spirituality, because Christianity originally is a part of African spirituality. So, man, we got to get back to devotion. I'm a deacon at heart. When I learned that HR.
Who are we invoking today?
When I get that. Hey, when I get on that knee, that HR, boy, I'm calling my granddaddy, my great granddaddy, my great granddaddy, because that's who we need. Let me tell you something. What I'm telling you, you know what Terry mean? Let me tell you.
Listen, we're gonna
Come on, Ia.
Terry, I got one tattoo before I got this one, which is my son's name in Arabic. I got it the other day. I have one tattoo, you'll never see it because I be doing shit. Either way, it's on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it in a book by Joyce Meyer. She's the one that gives affirmations about Christianity.
She a preacher stud.
I love her. She kind of invited to the cookout. But on my side, it's a statement that says Mano.
Yeah.
Mano, okay? Mano in
my mama loves Joyce Myers.
To Terry.
Come on.
To stay strong, to weather
Come
through
on.
the issues. And listen, I was young as shit when I got this tattoo and really was just reading this, morning, evening devotional. And she said, Mano, it means to stay strong. And then Charo means to devise and to fly effortlessly. So I was gonna put Mano on the side of Charo.
on that one.
Right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. But now the whole Terry thing, like I didn't really understand the idea of what that meant to me.
Yeah. Look how God worked.
Yeah, Joyce can't. She can come to cookout, but she can't come to church.
I said she might be able to come.
Yeah.
She not coming to my cookout.
She can't come to church
She can
because she don't believe. In her church, if you get the Holy Ghost,
Joyce Myers is an old stud.
She gonna
very much so.
get them.
Yeah. My mama, I grew up from my mother watching Joyce Myers.
Me too.
700
Club, Joyce Myers. Why is we not doing? Oh, Benny Hinn crusades. Like,
yeah. But the thing is, when it comes to African spirituality, man, we are influencing everywhere we motherfucking go, from sports to spirituality to the workplace. We are the influence anywhere we go. So make sure anywhere you go, don't never let nobody of other ethnicities think that they even when it comes to fucking soccer and goddamn jet skiing, that come from us. When they even come from surfing, do you know who the first surfers were? They were Black Hawaiians.
Baby, one thing we're gonna do is learn how to walk on water. Okay?
That's right. Do you know Moses was married to an Ethiopian woman? The Bible will tell you that, and that's why people didn't want to follow Moses, because he was married to an Ethiopian woman, and of course she looked like us, so they felt like, oh, we ain't finna listen to this nigga loving man.
And Moses
racism is in the Bible.
He is the most dogmatic. I got a problem with Moses.
Come on.
Like, I got a problem with Moses in the way that he, and the thing is, back then, you
Peter
know what I'm saying,
Popoff,
the way women, they treat women, but we use him so much as a follower, but he is the problem, the dogmatic problem here. All of them, right. He had
Gandhi did not like black people, so stop using Gandhi scriptures. Gandhi did not like black people at all. He moved over to Africa because him and his people took over a part of Africa. And to this day, the Indians still take over a certain part of Africa.
But that goes back to show that traditionally all of these leaders that we're talking about,
all of them
were men.
And that's why the women.
And you take all the women out the Bible.
Exactly.
But they're the main one. Every time that something happened with the civilization, big women were involved.
But you know, the women who stood up in the Bible they were black. Shout out to Deborah. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Ursula. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Jael. The real black women in the motherfucking Bible. Even the Israelites will tell you this though. And now you have to look at
Judith.
That's right.
Judith. I have a
and then
Judith.
And even shout out to the Jezebel.
Yes. She was. What's the problem with Jezebel?
Shout out to Jezebel.
Like that she did better than what y'all did. Like she played this queen role very well.
Yeah. And then even when you get into Medusa, they showed us that Medusa was evil because she had locks. They said she had snakes.
And she was very beautiful.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you're really mad because you couldn't have her.
Come on, man. She said, really I ain't giving up that black pussy. That pussy for colors only. Listen. Hey, look. And on that note, I'm going to tune out tonight. Make sure y'all check us out next week as we talk about African spirituality, how it intertwines with Christianity. One thing about it, like my sister Shay said earlier from Atlanta, shout out to Shay, is that it all intertwines with each other. One thing about black people, we can be multiple spiritualities because they all intertwine with each other. But one thing, we always got to respect each other. I love y'all. We love y'all. As y'all can see tonight, man, we've been here for 3 goddamn hours. This is the longest show. This is the longest show I've ever had. I got to work in the morning. But look, we love y'all, man. And make sure that y'all drop positivity. Even after the show, drop positivity because you never know who need that.
Share to a friend. Like, let's get shit everywhere that he needs to be
Yes.
spot is so essential.
I say. And I don't do this show, believe it or not, I don't do this show for me. I do the show for y'all. Because it's time for us to have a real conversation. I'm a realist. I don't give a fuck how many people really come watch us, because I know y'all might not watch us on live, but y'all gonna watch us when we get off of live, because y'all don't want me to know that y'all support me, nigga. But y'all want support, but y'all won't delete me on none.
It's giving support for real.
But what? Like, I love y'all though, for real though, man. Y'all have a good night tonight, man. And if y'all haven't already, if y'all can't watch us, make sure y'all download the RWR 365 live app so y'all can listen to us and great other shows every motherfucking night. And y'all can listen to good music, man, because me, I'm an R&B type man. I'm a music soul child type, you know what I'm saying? But make sure y'all watch us every other night and listen to us every Thursday night. Y'all will see them again.
Oh yeah. We fucking up commas in the city, actually.
Yeah.
Already.
I love y'all. Y'all have a good night.